I accepted Islam in 1994. My mother saw the direction I was going, and Islam changed me. Islam made me the man you see here. The city I'm from is a very violent city. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it clear to me early on that this is not the place. I feel the wealthiest I've ever been outside of America. You may get money, but it goes here, it goes there. Everything's expensive, everything's that. And then at the end of the day, you realize it's not about money, because some people, they're chasing the money and they're losing their families. They say Muslims are terrorists and their beliefs are produce terrorists. How many terrorists do you know?
You can never know the feeling, the peace of mind, the contentment and the joy that you get living in the Muslim land until you come and taste it.
Whatever you're trying to do, you have to practice and you have to become obsessed with it. Garbage in the street is an opportunity, because if you can solve a problem for somebody, they'll pay you. I have a message to Muslims in general. We have to start.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Abu Abdullah here. Before we get into the podcast, I'd like to welcome you to the Madinah Project, a podcast dedicated to empowering Muslims with financial independence, locational freedom, and a legacy of righteousness bi-idhnillah azza wa jal. We're here to help and inspire Muslims like you to break into tech, real estate, and entrepreneurship, to build businesses that serve the Ummah. On this podcast, we highlight Muslim entrepreneurs and their businesses, share with you game-changing insights, and give you the tools to transform your life so you can better serve Allah in your community. If you're ready to take that step with us, all I ask of you is to subscribe to the Madinah Project, share to spread the khair, and join us on this journey where we're building stronger Muslim communities, one project at a time. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ya Aba Mansur, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Marhaban bik, marhaban bik.
Alhamdulillah.
So my guest today, normally I don't even introduce a guest.
Right.
I just go right into it. But today I'm going to say my guest is, Abu Mansur Omar, originally from the States,
No.
right? But long time muhajir, fadlillah azza wa jal.
Alhamdulillah.
Allah azza wa jal preserve you and your family upon that.
Ameen, ya Rabb.
So let's dive right into it.
Okay.
Right? I know that, you are, like I said, you are one of the oldest people I know, not in age. I mean, longest people I know been on this path to Hijrah. And you've been to many countries, walillah alhamdulillah. You've been actually in several countries. But also, I know that you're well traveled. So like you go out of your way, in your team to travel to different countries as much as you can to get information for the Muslims, who are interested in making Hijrah to these countries. So you founded Make Hijrah, and your background is in software engineering as well. You're an entrepreneur, you're a father, Allah Mubarak. And you're on YouTube, right? People have known you for years, including myself even before we met. But for those who do not know you, who is Abu Mansur?
Man, I didn't think you would ask me a question like that. Nah, man, I'm just, I accepted Islam in 1994. And so my background is not Islamic. I didn't grow up in a Muslim family or anything like that. I grew up in a Christian household, you can say, but not really, because it wasn't a practicing Christian household. And I accepted Islam. So I accepted Islam in Ramadan. And of course, you have Taraweeh. And so I used to, when I would go to the prayer, and I didn't understand anything that was being said, and I didn't like it. Personally, I didn't like it. So I told myself, I need to understand Arabic. And early on, I felt that I was out of place in the environment. Like my new religion was teaching me these different moral lessons, and I had to adjust my life and change the way I was thinking and the things I was doing. And I said, this, as a matter of fact, I went back to my old friends after I accepted Islam. I went back to them, and they were still, of course, doing the same things they were doing, doing the drugs and the women and all that stuff. And when they used to indulge in that thing, I would go up to a different place and just sit there by myself. And then over time, I thought to myself, why am I doing this? Like, obviously, our lifestyles don't align. And even though they were my real close friends, I just didn't fit in. So those things started to come to me, and I started to realize, like, when I started to be around the people that gave me dawah, when I started to hang around those people, I started to tell them a lot of those guys were from Philistine and Jordan and these places in the Middle East. And I used to say to them, like, why are you here? You know, and a lot of them would get caught up with American women, American white women, and we would look at them, marry them, and we look at them like, you know, this girl, like we we know who these people are, right? And they don't. They think, you know, nothing's wrong. And I'm like, so anyway, I mentioned that for a reason. Like, they were out of place, and then realized they were out of place. And I think a lot of times it was just that they saw a better opportunity there from their home country. They saw opportunity for education, opportunity for business and making money. And then, of course, they would send the money back home and that type of thing. But I used to tell them, I said, man, I would rather live on the street where you come from than stay here in a mansion, in a $1 million, as a new Muslim. Because to me, it was for them, it's about money. For me, it was about living this religion that I just embraced. And everything contradicts it. Everything around me contradicts the principles that this religion is teaching me in the masjid. You're teaching me this thing, and when I go outside, it's something totally different. You know, people are not living by, which even them, they're not living by it. And I hate to say that. It's not to put anybody on the spot, but my mother used to tell me to go to the store. Used to have these little supermarkets on the corner. We call them corner stores because they're all on the corners. And she used to tell me, go get such and such from the Iranian store, right? And the reason they called them Iranians was because at the time you had the Iran, Iraq, and all this stuff. So this is what they knew. So they said, these are the Iranians. And in reality, they were like Palestinians, or I didn't know that at the time. But the thing was that they were there in our neighborhoods, right? But they didn't live in our neighborhoods. They would come to the neighborhoods and then go back out to their neighborhoods where they were at. So they would, and I'm not trying to expose them, but I'm just trying to make a point that they were known. They were the ones that were selling the pork to the people, and they were the ones selling the alcohol to the people, and anything you can name, cigarettes, porn, whatever. They were selling lottery tickets. They were bringing that to the neighborhood.
In New York City.
Yeah. And the thing about it is that once I became Muslim, I started to meet the ones that had the halal stores. It was very few of them. Like, you go there, you can't buy pork. You can't buy alcohol or anything like that. But what you'll find is that people in the neighborhood, this was the only place they can buy food from. Like the other big supermarkets and stuff way out, they'd have to get on the bus or something and go out. So these stores represented a chance for people to understand what Islam is. It was an opportunity that I think a lot of them failed. I have to say that. So saying all that to say, that was the environment that I was raised in. And when I became Muslim, I felt out of place totally. Like, I couldn't even keep the friends I had because they were so much indulged in behavior that went against Islam. So I had to end up just leaving them, you know, and I started hanging out more with Muslims, having Muslim friends and Muslim companions. So at that time, I was around 18 years old. So early on, I said, I need to get out of here. So along the line, I went to different cities. I lived in a few different cities. Then I ended up getting married and I had children. I had 3 children before I left the States. And that whole time, I was trying to figure out a way out. So finally, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me a way out. I started a business with some other brothers, and we did well. And as soon as we hit a certain point, I said, I'm out of here. So I packed my small family up. I grabbed a friend that's been out of the States for a while. I said, come on. And we left. We went to Egypt. So this Hijra thing, and in the beginning, it wasn't about Hijra. In the beginning, it was about learning Arabic. That's what it was about. But Hijra wasn't out of the picture. It just became clearer. Because when we went to Egypt, many people that have been to Egypt, they have negative and positive things. right? It's not like one opinion, right? So we went right into the heart of it. So it wasn't what we were used to, but you couldn't deny the feeling of peace. It's masajid everywhere, right? You hear the adhan, and we didn't hear the adhan before. Before, at that time, you had like these little clocks. We call them adhan clocks.
Yeah.
And it'll call the adhan for you. And then you also had the prayer books, the time books. I don't know if you remember that. And that's how you would keep track of what time the prayers came in. But now when you come to the Muslim world, adhan, right? And from all over. And you can't,
you don't know which one to follow.
You don't know which one to follow, and you can't avoid it. So it was certain things like that. It was the peace, because the city I'm from is a very violent city, and you can get caught up. You may not be involved in the violence, but you can get caught up in it because people don't discriminate. Like if they want that guy and you there next to that guy, they get you too. And you can even be walking across the street and you can get it. And to me, that's no environment to raise a family. And not to mention, even then, I worked hard. So I wasn't always there. And I worked extra hard to try to keep my wife from having to work, right? So, and as your family grows, it gets more expensive, which means that it's a possibility that your wife might have to work at some point, which then leaves the children to the streets. Yeah, the neighborhood. By the way, unlike other cities, our city, there was a lot of Muslims there, but everybody scattered all over the place, right? Especially on the north side of the city. On the south side of the city, you have the Arabs and the Pakistanis, and they try to have like a small community. But on our side of town, we all scattered around. So it would be more likely that the street would raise your child than you would, right? And the schools and their friends. So that was something that I personally couldn't handle it. I personally couldn't handle my son going to prison or him being killed in a street war or something like that. And this thing actually happens. When we left, people that had small children, it was one brother that had 2 sons in rival gangs. The gangs were fighting each other. This son is in this gang, that was in the other gang.
His own children?
His own children, one in this gang and one in that gang. And I knew these kids. I knew them growing up because these were my friends. And as the children got older, it just, things started to happen that they never in their wildest dreams would think, but it's because of that dynamic. These guys were hard workers. They tried to provide for the entire family, so the wife didn't have to work. But then the children started going into the streets, and they started to have friends outside the house. And another one of my friends, his we don't know where his son is now. He got lost in the streets, and these are Muslim kids, man. Another friend, they're all Muslims, man. So, and then also, I hate to mention this, but it's just a lesson for us, right? Yeah, one of my friends, his daughter is the same age as my son. And they found her, she was dead in the house by herself. And they're young, like. So I'm saying that to say, man, that this is something, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it clear to me early on that this is not the place. And it's it seems like it would be common sense, but it's really not. Because even those Arab guys have problems with their children right now.
Of course. It's a matter of time.
And it's like, they made it, it's like, it's never enough money to say, okay, I think we should leave now. I think we got enough. Or even because they have that benefit, maybe they can come back and forth, check on their businesses. But no, a lot of them are still there to this day. We talking 20 years later. So anyway, that's the gist of it, man. Like originally we wanted to learn Arabic so we can understand the Quran and understand the Sunnah and, try to educate ourselves. It wasn't for me to be an imam or a scholar or a sheikh or something like that and come back and do that. That wasn't it for me personally. I wanted to understand the Quran. I wanted to understand the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at least on a basic level. And I remember one of the elders there in the community, he said, that we all need to have a working knowledge of the Arabic language, just a working knowledge of it. You don't have to be an Arabic language scholar or anything like that, but I'm sure you can bear witness to that. Like the difference is night and day. Like if you hear the Quran and you understand at least the basic understanding of it, it's a lot different than not understanding anything. But I think you're a bit different.
What should change it?
Yes. And when you hear it, it's like it hooks you. It's kind of like, it reminds me of like being in a place where somebody's speaking English over there. And it's like, you don't want to be nosy, but you can hear everything that's going on. When they play the Quran, when the Quran comes on, you're in it, you're locked in. You know what I'm saying? It's subhanAllah. It's a feeling that I can't even explain. But anyway,
but to get that, to learn the Arabic language.
Yeah, to get that, come on, man. Like, how can we go 30 or 40 years and we don't know what al-Fatiha is or what it means or what it said? I'm not even talking about a tafsir of it. I'm saying the words in it, that when you hear it, you understand what it's saying. And then not only that, the recitation of it and understanding how to recite it properly. And you can hear the proper pronunciation. A lot of us don't have that, man, especially in the West, you know. And real quick, a brother would tell me, he said, man, sometimes people don't understand that it could be possible that some of our prayers are not accepted because of how we're reciting wrong and mispronouncing words and changing the meanings and all this stuff, and we don't even know it, you know, because we didn't just take the time to make a priority of trying to get a basic understanding of Arabic. So anyway, that was my first intention. Then once I got there, and I started to learn, and I started to realize how peaceful my life was. So what I'm going back for?
How long did it take you to realize that?
I would argue, man, in the first 6 months. And I would say even before that.
And you landed in a rough part of Egypt, you said.
It was the rough. It was a rough part. Yeah, it was a bad. It was a bad landing. Mm-hmm. That's because we had help, as a matter of fact. But you know, the places they showed us, it wasn't up to our standard in any way. And so I rejected a lot of the things that they showed me at first. A lot of the apartments, but then we had to settle for something. So we ended up settling, right? And it's funny. The apartment was furnished. It was, you know, it was roach infested. It was, you know, Egypt, man, if you don't clean, it'll get dusty. And the place was just, you know, we said, okay, this is the best option out of everything. So we took it. But, you know, the funny thing about it is that there's a store in Egypt. It's called Tawheed wa Noor. Everybody knows it, right? And just to have, and this store is like, I don't know, JCPenney or something in the States. It's something, everybody knows it, right? And it's branches everywhere.
You got whatever you need is in there.
Everything is in there. And it's not the like expensive store. It's just a basic store. But the thing about it is that this is the name of one of the most famous stores in Cairo, at Tawheed wa Noor. You know what I mean? So it's stuff like that, I mean, it says, why would I leave this to go back to that? It doesn't make any sense. And then we put my oldest son and my daughter, my oldest two children. I mean, at the time they were young, like 3 and something. So we put them in Hadana, which is like a daycare. And hold on a second. All right. Let me skip over that.
No, don't skip over that shit. You know, subhanAllah, all of us that have gone through this journey and stuck with it before Allah Azza wa Jal, you go back to these moments that in the moment, you kind of like, it was just like, then you go back, you're like, did that happen? how that, like, it becomes so real,
Yeah.
and in the moment, it's like we maybe didn't have much meaning, but and Allah Azza wa Jalla, like, subhanallah, I just, anyway, I don't want to like inject my own stories into this, but
No, you sure, man. I mean, it need to be heard, man. But I guess I'm mentioning this because, okay, we put our children in the Hadana, which is like a nursery. And of course it's in Arabic. So one day I'm with my Arabic teacher and my son is there. And my son is like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years old. So he's like talking to him in Arabic. And then he was like, he basically said, what did you learn today in the Hadana? And he was like, so he started reciting the surah, right? And then it's when it goes, he pointed to his heart.
Allah. Sheikh, if I may ask, forgive me, because I really want people to understand, the feeling that these things, these experiences and these benefits, these blessings from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, yet someone else cannot understand unless they experience it. So if I may ask, forgive me if I may ask, can I ask, what about this, for the ones, who listen to this and see this, why does this touch you the way it has?
He's reciting and understanding what he's saying. It's not just empty.
And this is what drove you to say, I need to move. And now your own offspring in no time is getting.
He's getting it in a nursery. So
that's mind-boggling. Mind-blowing.
But I remember this in the way he was reciting and how happy he was about it. And my teacher is just, smiling. But I said, why would I go back? So all of this can. So anyway, man. So the original idea was to go learn Arabic, but as we started to learn, there was no point in putting them back in those environments.
Yeah.
And at that time, it was nowhere for us to get something like that in the States. Well, in Milwaukee, I would say, in our city, it was nowhere to get that.
Yeah.
That was like, So anyway, man, so that's really the story, man. Like, coming to Egypt and then realizing that, I want to raise my family. It's funny because my son used to have a notebook and he would spend his time, how kids that draw? He would spend his time, he'll have a mushaf and they'll have his notebook and he'll just write the pages.
Oh.
And it wasn't like somebody told him to do that. It was for him. It was like drawing.
Wow. This was something that he enjoyed doing.
He liked to do it. And another thing too is, this was later. He may have been about 5 or 6. He used to, when that van come on, he used to go to the balcony with a broom and call that van like he's a muezzin.
Wow.
So I'm just saying,
related is so much. Like all this stuff you're saying, it's like, subhanAllah, even the writing.
Yeah.
Like, kids, I've lived this. SubhanAllah, I've seen this happen. The adhan, or go now, lead the salah, and
But see, the thing is that what is amazing about this is that you're not forcing them to do that. It's not like, get in there and, with the stick, why aren't you, it's something about those environments that bring that out of them. It's what they see people doing. It's funny because one brother used to say, my children look at you as a superhero. Like all the brothers. Because this one's big. This one's like this.
Yeah.
This one always has a white thobe. And my kids saw them as they're going to the masjid, they hear this, and this is what they see around them. So this is who they look up to. This is who they admire. So, I wouldn't change it for anything, bro. I'm just saying, it's no regrets. And you couldn't imagine, because another brother used to tell me, a brother from the same city, he would say, these places, and this is when I only knew I've been to Jordan before, but this was after I went to Egypt. And I've been to Syria. I've been to Damascus. And Egypt is depending on where you are, right? Now it's changing because you have New Cairo and you have other places, the old places like Zamalek and these places that we didn't know about. We just knew Nasser City, that was it. So, he used to say, this is not an issue of what this place looks like. This is an issue of Iman. And if you believe, it starts to become like the most beautiful place. Even though it's dirt, dogs, cats, you know it. Again, brothers were fortunate to go to New Cairo first or explore different areas. But the people that came there were Fajr centers and these places. Bro, we were in you walking past dirt piles, rubble.
Trash, what else?
Trash, flies.
It didn't bother you. Because
the flies bothered me, but still.
Yeah. No, but this statement is so profound. Because I've said this myself before, and I've heard this from other people. Now, Cairo, even now, we can say, even now that it's becoming more modernized, right?
No.
There's like a beautiful chaos to all of it.
No.
But we use that, right? Chaos normally is not attributed, beauty is not attributed to chaos.
No.
But in this case, it's like a beautiful chaos. And this is another thing that we spoke about earlier. Look at the mindset difference versus the locals sometimes who have never been out, right? Who envy where we come from, where we know, the filth that they don't even see, they don't even understand.
Right.
And first, the worst of it being the filth of kufr and shirk and all these things. Yeah. But we come to a place where for them, they look at this as like, it's terrible, right? Why would you want to live here? Why would you want to live that? Well, now this statement from the brother,
no.
Really, when you think about it, as from an angle of Iman,
no.
And being a matter of deen and faith and worship,
no.
It becomes beautiful to you.
No.
It's not that we're okay with the dirt no, we're not saying that. But it's just that if that's what we have to put up with, and this is the choice that we have versus that, keep your clean streets,
right.
Over that. With the kufr and the shirk.
No.
We'll take this.
No. It's true. Because our city, even though it's violent, in some places it's not nothing like Nasser City. Yeah. Nowhere. Like it's grass and for the most part it's clean. So to leave that. And then you can say, okay, this is my city, so I can navigate it. I know what to do. Even you leave that off. Even people say, okay, well, you can get some benefits. You can do this. You can navigate the business world better. None of that matters.
It is not a matter of risk. Like when we talk about, like sometimes the things that hold us back, it's a risk.
No.
Things that are guaranteed.
No.
But now the reason you went, right, being for your religion, to safeguard your deen, your children's religion, which is a command from Allah, it's not guaranteed.
No. Bro, listen, man. You know this better than a lot of people. The wealth is everywhere.
For sure.
Even in Cairo, where they say it's a poor country, blah, blah. That's not really true. Where some people have that impression. But wealth is everywhere, bro. The risk, you're going to get it no matter where you go. So, people need to take that out of their heads. I think that a lot of people, Look, I'll tell you something, man. I went to an island called Pemba. And one thing I noticed about the people is that a lot of them were really strong looking people. It wasn't like they missed meals or anything like that. And I saw a guy. We went to visit a brother. He built a house there. And we were standing outside. And I saw a guy walk into the I don't know what you call it, like into the farm, if you want to say. Because the houses are there, but it's land everywhere, right? So he walked into the farm. And then we talking, me and the brother, and we look back and the guy comes back with spinach and he just went and picked everything and just went back home. But one thing I noticed, like we went deep into some of these areas, man. You see guys like strong, big farms. Like I'm saying, these guys aren't starving, bro. That's not an issue. It's food everywhere. Everything's growing, mashallah. The thing about it is that that's not what they're looking for. Some of them are looking for the iPhone. Some of them want the Nikes. Some of them. So it's funny because when I used to go, I said, okay, let me buy a few shirts and, a pair of shoes and then I realized how worthless that was. Like, you the one that's putting your shoes, hiding it so nobody will take it. This is how you thinking. When everybody there is wearing slippers. Nobody cares. Nobody even knows what those are. The average person doesn't even understand what you're wearing. That's what I'm trying to say. So, like, it's not that you're not being provided for. It's just that you want things that really have no value. These Nikes, okay, I'm going to pay $200. However, I don't even know how much they cost these days. I'm going to pay $200 for that. When this guy, he can take that $200 and buy some seeds or buy something else and grow some new whatever. So I'm just saying that to say that, bro, like the idea that the wealth is there. And I mean, I've met brothers, man, like honest. I used to think like, man, these are certain type of people that think like this. But then I used to have a taxi driver that I used to use all the time because I trusted him, and he would always ask me like, how can I get to the States?
It's in Egypt?
It's in Egypt, right? He would ask me, how can I get there, and he wasn't that type of person. I didn't see him that way. I saw him that he thought he could do better for his family if he went there. And you can in a way, but then in a way you can't because now you're not there. Like you over there, you're doing this, you're getting into stuff. You think that's where the money's at. When in reality, man, there's a lot of rich people.
Yeah.
In Egypt,
for sure.
There's a lot of rich, and then again, like man, as long as you can take care of your family, as long as you can provide for your family in a good way, why do I need to go overboard?
Yeah.
So it's not to say, I mean, I guess to wrap up this point, man, it's not to say that life isn't hard. I get why people will want to do it. But at the same time, I'm looking at it like I feel the wealthiest I've ever been outside of America.
Yeah.
The wealthy, because you may get money, but it's just, it goes here, goes there. Everything's expensive. Everything's that. And then at the end of the day, you realize it's not about money because some people, they're chasing the money and they're losing their families.
Is it worth it?
Yeah. Bro, I mean, the amount of people that are losing their families. Even today, when we were talking with one of the brothers, I was amazed. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, this is happening? And it's happening amongst immigrant families or people, the first generation, second generation Muslims that come from different countries are having their kids dying. The brother said that the mother lost all 5 of her children. For what? You might as well stay. You might as well stay in your country if you're going to lose all your male children. So in that part, I haven't even tapped into that part. Usually, I'm just talking about my experience as an American, a Black American. But then when you start to go into other communities and see that, bro, the immigrants are losing their children
in the worst ways,
in the worst possible way. Like, I can be poor and still have my kids. So anyway, man, I'm about it.
Any one of us that have children, we think about the situation that this woman is in,
Mm.
or others that we know
Right.
personally, they're in.
Mm.
When we trade any of our children
Right.
for that, like, if we put in a situation like, all you have to do is put your child in that position, put yourself in that position. It's enough for you to, even the thought you don't want.
All right.
But the reality is, many people, if not most, don't understand until it's too late.
Hmm.
The case of this woman, may Allah these are affairs,
I mean,
is, it's extreme.
no.
But there are others where they lose their son, their daughter, and then now they want to seek a way out.
No.
But around them, they've been seeing it happening to other people.
No.
Why not take action before it's too late?
Bro, we can do so much. It's so much to unpack, man, because it's not just that. That's probably one of the worst things that can happen.
Mm.
Is to lose your children like that. And this is murder. We're not talking about like he died. He
No, all her children got killed.
They got killed. Yeah. So that's a different situation. But then people are losing them in different ways, right? That's probably the worst way. But then they're losing them to leaving Islam. They're losing them to transgender and all this kind of weird stuff that's happening. And it's not just happening from the indigenous people, because we see that a lot. But you have people that are coming from Muslim families that are experiencing that. I want to tell you a quick story, man. I was sitting with some brothers. Two brothers came to Turkey and they said, they got my number somehow. They said, can we meet with you? They came to Konya. And I said, sure, man. Where y'all want to meet? He said, I want to take you out, get something to drink and get something to eat or something like that. I said, okay, cool. So we met and we're talking. And you know me, I go off into somewhere sometimes. And either I'm really quiet or I'm talking, right? So we're sitting in the hotel to get some coffee or something like that. So I just started talking. I said, talking about our situation and our children, because family is like the cornerstone of it, really. And people have to start taking that a lot more serious. And that responsibility. Allah's going to ask you about that, right? Your kids and how you raise them. So I just start talking like this. I said, people, that the West is introducing these ideas to our children, these atheistic ideas, and putting doubts in their mind, and da-da-da-da. I'm just going on and on and on. And so I'm just talking like this, and then I look to the brother, and his eyes are filled with, like, if I say one more word, he's going to not just cry, not just a tear, but like just bust out. So I stopped. I said, wait, hold up. Let me stop.
You're touching something.
I'm touching a nerve and I don't even know it. I'm just talking. You know how we just talk, right? So he said, brother, my daughter comes home questioning if Allah exists. I said, oh. Then he had his friend, and his friend said, my son has doubts as to whether he's supposed to be a boy or a girl. Now, these are not like British guys or something. I mean, these are like maybe they're from Pakistan or from India. They Muslim roots. So you really, like, at this stage, they're going to continue on. If we keep like this, the kids are going to continue on as Brits and Americans and Canadians with that idea, and in many cases not even be Muslim.
Yeah, which is the worst thing that can happen.
You just losing them, and why? For what? For what, bro?
Chasing the dunya. There's no other one. Let's be honest. We're chasing the dunya. We're chasing what is guaranteed at the cost of what is not guaranteed.
That's right.
That's it.
Bro, think about it for a second. Like, something happened recently, and I'll frame it a little differently. So because I don't want people to, I don't want to expose anybody or anything like that. But a young guy passed away, right? and in Egypt. And the way he passed away, it wasn't like, you have sudden deaths and you have a person's suffering with a sickness. And so you're preparing yourself for the person to pass away. But when you have a sudden death, it hits differently, right? Because you just saw the guy. I just saw him yesterday and now he's dead, just like that. And I said, subhanAllah, that's guaranteed. That's your guarantee right there. You're not guaranteed to get that degree. You're not guaranteed to be successful in your business. Bro, listen, man, a guy can be on his way. You see him. He's closing deals. He's doing this. He hasn't made it just yet, but you can see the way he's going. Inshallah, he's going to make it. And Allah, just take it. And you could be doing things to get there. And you say, I shouldn't be doing this, but if I can make it, stop. And Allah snatch it from you. Snatch your life from you. And then when you think about it, what do you have except your life? Like once that's gone, nothing else matters. So, I guess the point is, man, that we have a lot of opportunities that we can't even see. I mean, so for me, I look at the whole passport thing a little differently. I look at it that this is my jinsiyah. This is what I have. Every human has to have a jinsiyah somewhere, right? So this is my jinsiyah, and with this, Allah has blessed me to be able to use this to go here, everywhere, where other people may not have those options. They may be stuck where they are, right? So I'm not saying to people, give up your whatever nationality or this, that. I'm saying use it.
Use it as a tool.
It's a tool.
It's a favor from Allah Azza wa Jal.
Come on, because you don't get to choose where you're born or where your parents take you, right? So why aren't we thinking along those lines? Like, okay, let's say I'm from a place. For us, for African Americans, many of us don't know where we came from, right? So a lot of us do ancestry and this, that, to try to figure out what country we came from, or because a lot of us are mixed with a lot of different things due to our what happened to us. So we don't know where we come from. Even if I knew, it doesn't necessarily mean that I want to be there, right? But the point is that, and I tell my children this, that they grew up with children that are like them, right? So they don't. The cool thing for them, like it's funny, during Ramadan they got together and they prayed together at night, right? And all of them have some Quran with them, so they all got a chance to. So that became something fun for them to do, and it's all in line with trying to be religious and to please Allah. And so I tell them all the time. I said, "Look, you guys can come together. It's something that it's hard for us to do now at our ages. Like we try, man, but them guys, they're starting. When I was their age, I can do a lot. And now when I'm older, it's harder for me. Like sometimes I just want to say, man, let me just relax. I don't know. But for them, they're constantly moving, constantly. Their energy is high. I'm like, you guys can do something. And I know you and I talk about it. We talk about, like you say a lot, like you would like to build a city like Rahab or these big compounds, and you can see it as a possibility. A lot of people can't see that. A lot of people not even thinking like that. But I'm along with you on that. I'm saying, yeah, we could.
We're creating the environment that we wish we had.
Right.
Or that we want to see for our children.
Bro, we can do it. We could do it. But they really can do it.
For sure.
They really can do it because a lot of them don't have the responsibilities that we've had over the years. Like I'm 50. So imagine how much my family, my kids, my this, my that, and this one and that one. So I have all this, and your energy is not the same. Your go get it is not the same, but they have it. If you point them in the right direction and say, go over there, they're going. And on top of that, what they can accomplish together. Like, imagine, like sometimes back in the day, we didn't make fun of them, but we used to say, what are these guys doing? These Mexican guys that's coming. They're taking, the minimum wages back then was like $5. They'll take $2. They'll take $2 an hour, and they will live in a small shack place. 10 of them, 15 of them. And they just stack it. And they focus. The only thing is working. They'll get this job for $2 and they get this job for $2. They're working. And at the end, they're building something back home. And the thing is that now, if you have this passport, whatever it is, let's say it's UK, it doesn't matter, right? And you have the ability as a young man to say, okay, 15 of us are going to go live in this 1-bedroom apartment. And the only thing we're going to focus on is supporting each other, making sure we all stay straight and don't get distracted, and working, and have a goal, because they don't get $2. They're going to get $15, $20. This is with no skill. Yeah. Imagine people that have skills now. That's a whole nother picture we can paint. Right. Engineers and doctors, you have those that can do the same. Yeah. Like, where's the bigger picture? Like some of these guys, they come straight from Pakistan or straight from Egypt or wherever. And it's like, bro, why don't you just visit your country? Just go back to Egypt, man. Go look at New Cairo. Go look at places don't forget about the village or the Isba or Rabawanus or wherever you came from, and think about what's out there and what people have dreams and aspirations and bright ideas. And if that's the case, man, go, you can get a piece. And you can put your family, get them out of those situations where they're being more influenced by kuffar than their own family. Their best friend is a kafir, somebody. You know, this is what's happening. And they look, you don't know. Because imagine, man, look, this is a funny example, right? I don't think my mother ever heard me say a curse word. And if she did, you can count it on one hand. Maybe I was angry, but I never cursed her, right? Maybe in the back I said, whatever. But in the street, I could curse. Like my friends, I'm cursing. I can say the worst things with my friends. But in front of my mother, I can't. I have to watch what I say. So she sees me as that. She doesn't see me as this wild cursing, drug dealer, whatever I'm doing. So imagine that. That's a situation for a non-Muslim. So what about Muslims? I'm just saying, they could be selling drugs, doing drugs, having female, whatever they doing. Yeah, and they come home and assalamu alaikum ummi. You know what I mean? Because that opportunity is very easy in those environments, right? But in the Muslim world, it's very difficult. It's the opposite. Like, to be a virgin is expected. Yeah. Like, so when one of my sons, when they went back to the States and he told his family he was a virgin, they laughing at him. He's a virgin. They tell other people he's a virgin. Muslims. The Muslim family members, like, laughing at, how's that? No way. And he's like, this is what I'm supposed to be. I'm not married. I never got married. What are you talking about? Why would I not be a virgin? So I'm just saying, bro, like, look, man, people just take it. It's weird, man. It's like a diamond. It's like a diamond in the rough. Like, if you picked up a rough diamond, you'd be like, just throw it. It's nothing.
Polish it.
But if you polish it, do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So apply that analogy to the Muslim world. Yeah. Yeah. If you came to the Muslim world and brought your skills and brought your resources, what would it be then?
Assalamu alaikum, guys. If you're looking to get into tech, real estate, entrepreneurship, or simply make hijrah, let's connect. Click the link below to speak with me, and I'll help you scale exponentially and fast track that process for you. And now let's get back to the podcast.
So people like to talk about the governments and this. I like a lot of times when people do that, I'm looking, I say, you never been there. Yeah. You never been there, because that whatever he's doing has nothing to do with me. Really, it doesn't. And if you mind your business, you can get a lot of things done. Yeah. It's because at the end of the day, this is my circle. This is my circle of influence. This is what really matters. And then when you go outside, you're going out to help people and do things. But when it comes to the political, and this one did that, it's one thing to know about it, another thing to understand what you can do about it. Right. I said, this leader did that. What you going to do? Just talk. Yeah. It's nothing you can do about that.
And most of the time, it doesn't concern us. Most of the time, it's false.
It could be false. Yeah. It's just what people are saying.
Yeah.
But the reality is, let's say that is true. What you gonna do about it? Tell me what you're gonna do. Let's be real. But your daughter not wearing hijab.
You can do something.
You can do something about that, right? Yeah.
If you can, and many, we get to a point where now we cannot even do something about that because of the environment, right?
Right.
So if you cannot do that, we're talking about what the rulers, the land.
Bro, listen to this. Listen to this. In the States, the home of the free and whatever, right? I can't do anything about that. Technically, I can't. If my daughter comes of age and she says, you know what?
Yeah.
And then I try to come here, she can call the police on me. Try that in Egypt. Try calling the police on your father. Yeah. See what happens. I'm sure in any place, Guinea, if I call the police on my father, what they going to do? They're going to say, you stupid.
Yeah. Put you in your place. You know?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So these, forget about whatever you want to say about the rulers and all that. I said, man, I understand. But what can I do about it, man? Don't talk to me about something that I have no control over whatsoever.
That's right.
But I have control over my family. And I have an effect on my community. But when it comes to these things and their choices and this, I don't understand it a lot of times. And there's nothing I can do about it.
And it's not responsibility. What Allah has put us as a responsibility on us.
Right.
Why don't we try to uphold that? Even now we can't. Most of us, no. We can't. While we're trying to go after things that's not our responsibility, we cannot do anything about.
Bro, you tell me. Because the thing about it is this, man. Like, I think what people think they have in the States is this ability to talk. And they can say, call Trump the orange man and this, and nobody's going to do anything. And they think, but what are you accomplishing even then?
Waste of time.
Tell me. I'm open to hear what you accomplish, even there. Because the strategy, in my opinion, there is to keep people preoccupied with their desires, whether it's eating, entertainment. They allow conspiracies to run wild. So this one is saying the spaceship did that. And again, I'm not trying to discuss those things here because I can talk about it. It's not a problem about that. The issue I'm trying to say is that their strategy is to make you empty and make you focus on things that don't matter at all. And then when you start to become religious, or when you accept Islam, that's where the problem comes in, bro. That's why they have FBI agents in the masjid. That's why they always saying this terrorist. Now, we ain't going to get political here. Just leave that. But I think you know where I'm going with this. Yeah. How are we the terrorists, bro? How? Yeah. Can you tell me, bro? Okay, this one did that. This one did that. This one did that. That one did that. But how we become the worst terrorists in the world? How? Are we killing all the... anyway, let's go. He'll leave that. But I'm just saying...
The point that I think is... No. We know as Muslims...
How many terrorists you know, bro?
Zero.
I mean, let's be honest. If it's just that Muslims are terrorists... They say Muslims are terrorists. And their beliefs produce terrorists. How many terrorists do you know, bro? Personally.
That's propaganda. Right?
How many terrorists you know, bro? You didn't answer.
I know none.
Okay. I don't know any, bro.
I don't know any. Alhamdulillah.
And I know a lot of people.
I don't want to know any.
I don't want to. I mean, to me, that element is so small that maybe it's one over here and there.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is. But the point is that...
Those are not Muslims. They are, not to say a Muslim cannot be, by the way.
No.
But I'm saying that can be anyone.
Bro, it's not about...
The person who goes in the school shoots in the school, bro, what is he?
Listen, I'm going to say something else to you. I'm going to say something else to you, man.
Yeah.
Because a Muslim can be gay.
Of course.
How many gay Muslims you know?
I don't know any.
I don't either. Yeah. That's my point.
Well, they can.
They can be. I'm saying... Hey, mumkin. Yeah. But what I'm trying to tell you that if it's widespread like this, you got to know one. Yeah. If Muslims are terrorists, you got to know at least one, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, how come you don't know none? I'm saying that. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist and these things didn't happen. I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong here. But what I'm trying to say is that why is it such an effort to put Islam in this light and put it down? Why? Because it's the truth. I'm just saying, it changes lives, bro. It's funny, man, because you could talk to my mother, man. My mother saw where I was going. She saw the direction I was going. And Islam changed me. Islam made me the man you see here. So you going to tell me
Islam.
Islam is about terrorism? Come on, bro.
You know, subhanAllah.
No.
Recently I saw someone, to touch on this point, his mother's not Muslim. He became a Muslim and his mother hated Islam. They don't know ignorance, right? Like Islam, what they hear, the propaganda on TV. Now the mother says to the son, "You're the best son in the world." You know, she loves that he's a Muslim because she saw how Islam has changed him, has shaped her.
So why you tell me Islam is terrorism? So why you tell me that? Why you have something bad to say about it? But you get my point. I'm saying that to make a point, bro. I'm saying that people say this about Islam, and Muslims are going to this place where this is the sentiment of people that don't know a Muslim. Come to the Muslim country.
Yeah.
Come here. I'm saying, do you see that here? I'm just saying, what do you see here? You see families. You see people men taking care of their families. That's what you find here. Men caring about their children.
Caring about
their parents. Bro, listen, man, I visited both of my grandparents in a nursing home. I grew up going in a nursing home to see my grandmother. Why is she in the nursing home? Because people want to go live their lives. And that same woman that breastfed you
did everything for
What's
you.
going on
Not
today?
she's in a nursing home.
You put her in a nursing home.
You don't see, alhamdulillah, bifadlillah, this is not existing in the Muslim world as far as I know.
But bro, listen, it's a new thing. It's not popular.
The khutbah here this Friday, by the way. What's today? Sunday? Friday, 2 days ago.
No.
The khutbah was about birrul walidain, right? And, you know, and respecting the elders.
No.
Obeying your parents. Care your parents. You know, respecting your parents. This is what Islam is about. But if, and you know what you're asking now, I primarily blame the Muslims. Okay? Because you know what? Someone can label you whatever they want. Someone can claim whatever you want. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the best of mankind.
No.
What was that labeled? What was that said about him?
No.
But it's all false because those who throw these words at him, the words come right back to them. But today, if the Muslims, whether in the East or in the West, we're not learning our religion, we're not practicing our religion, we become weak. People can say whatever they want about us and they can make it stick, even though it's not true. You know? And then we complain, we cry about this one, we cry about that one. Shaykh Albani rahimahullah, I read that he said, if only 5% of the Muslim men will establish Salat al-Fajr in Jama'ah, Allah will bring Izzah back to the Ummah. Are we praying in the masajid? Huh? Are we living off riba? Are we living off the haram? Are we, you know, like things like this,
No.
right? And again, it all goes back to education. And we just had a whole conversation about that. And going back to the beginning of this podcast, when you mentioned about your son, think about that. That you know, the environment, the education, the learning that was happening there. Where is that? This is what makes a real Muslim. It's knowledge that makes a Muslim practice Islam truly, you know, correctly. Without knowledge, can you worship Allah Azza wa Jalla? You cannot. You can't.
You're right.
Knowledge precedes everything. If now, as an example, you know, you gave me a brand new device and the manual is in Chinese. What am I going to do with that?
Right.
I'll say, give me the English manual. What are you doing? Even if you give me the French one, the language I know, I'll say, keep that one. Give me the one I'm very comfortable with, which is English.
Right.
For us, our religion, Allah Azza wa Jalla revealed this Quran in Arabic. We think, and not to say some people don't stay in Western countries or Muslim countries to learn Arabic. Some people make the effort, alhamdulillah. And everybody should make the effort. I'll say, you come to the Muslim lands, you learn faster, better, and easier. You know? The same way you go there, they make you assimilate. You don't just get embedded into it. No. You must assimilate, become one with the system there. Come to the Muslim lands. Now you're doing it for your religion. You're doing it for your deen, dunya, and akhirah.
No.
There's no loss. And the thing that's keeping us on the other side, where we're gambling with our religion, first and foremost, the religion of our children, family members, we risk putting our parents in nursing homes. We risk ending up in nursing homes or the other. Why? For what? Chasing dunya. What is guaranteed? Even if it's a sip of water, that's guaranteed for you. It's written. You're going to get it.
No, sorry.
Allah's decreed it.
No.
So let's go back. You moved to Egypt, walillah alhamd. Not a soft landing, but alhamdulillah, you didn't look at it just from the angle of the chaos and the deficiencies. You looked at it from the angle of iman, safeguarding yourself and your family, which is what Allah's commanded all of us to do.
No.
And 20 plus years later, you're still here in the Muslim lands, walillah alhamd. In fact, I met your sons. It was a surprise to me when I met Abdullah and he said, I've never been to the States. At 18 years old, I'm like, you're American. Never been to the States. And some people, Muslims, don't have American passports, but just have the means. You know what they do? They want to give birth in the U.S.
Right.
They want to take their kids there for vacation.
No.
Listen. So when I saw Allahumma barak, and may Allah bless you and your family, that was impressive to me. Walillah alhamd. Even now, when I meet, his older brothers and, we speak, to see like how many times you've been to the States. I don't have no need to be there. So I guess the question I want to ask you is 20 plus years later, you said earlier, no regret. Has it been worth it for you then? 20 plus years later.
There's no regrets, bro. Alhamdulillah. And I used to tell brothers when they're on their way out, they're leaving Egypt or wherever they're going, right? I used to tell them, I say, man, you should try to stay. I used to try to encourage them. And I had stopped after a while. It's not just a theory for me. This is a reality. And I'm not to brag like, oh, hey, look at this, look at that. Look at this son, look at this daughter. It's not about that, man. It's just that I know that, at least for us, the people that are born in the States, the people that have, descended from slaves, African Americans, that we're in a constant cycle, right? And you have some that it's not everyone. So I don't want to make it seem like everybody's bad. It's not like that. But a lot of us are in this cycle of prison, killing, or being killed, or something happened to us consistently. Not just me, my sons, their sons, and it's getting worse and worse and worse, right? And some people don't understand how to get out of that. Alhamdulillah, I got out of it. And the main reason is Islam. Islam changed me first. I wasn't married when I accepted Islam. I was 18 years old, so I was still young. But it molded me. It told me what life's purpose is. It told me what Allah created me for, right? And you don't know that when you're out there. If you don't have Islam, you don't know what really is going on, and you're just trying stuff and doing stuff. So I'm saying that to say, moving my family away from that environment allowed them to have a whole different outlook on life with no influence or no doubt. Nobody's saying, is Islam right or wrong? Islam's right. That's it. And I'm memorizing Quran, and I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I love Islam, and I love the Muslims, and no regrets, bro.
And alhamdulillah, they have not even been touched by that sight.
But they don't understand it. Look, I can tell you, put two youth the same age, right? And somebody come with a diamond necklace and say, give it to one of these boys. They'll look at this and say, what is this? I don't want that. They don't understand even what you're giving them. So gold teeth or any weird stuff that we come from our culture.
Yeah.
They just can't understand it or do it even. Here's this girl, you know. Look, man, I'm going to tell you a story. Maybe I shouldn't. And it's up to you if you keep it in. But there's been cases where people have gone back. These young boys and girls, they go back and their family members want them to be different. Like this boy, he's a virgin. He never had a girlfriend and never been alone with a girl or anything like this. So they bring a girl.
Other family members?
Yeah, the non-Muslim family members. They'll bring a girl. Oh, you don't, well, I don't care about money like y'all do. I don't care about having the latest, greatest shoes and whatever. I don't care about that stuff. But then they're like, yo, man, all you got to do is sell this. It could be drugs or whatever. And man, you could get these shoes and this. And I don't care about that stuff. These, literally, man, I'm telling you, like, these young men can have the same shirt for 5 years, 10 years, and not care. As long as it's clean, as long as it's not holy. So I'm saying that putting people in a different environment, because if they're there, these are the people that they identify with.
100%.
So they're not gonna go to, let's say, I'm not trying to make it a black and white thing, but they're not gonna go to a white community and blend in. Like, you're gonna go to your community and where we're from. And those people you're gonna identify with. And if you're not strong enough to understand your religion enough or mature in your religion enough, then you're gonna start gradually doing what your people are doing. So getting them out of there. Not when it's, even if they're far gone, but to move and change environments. I've seen it, bro. I've seen people bring children to the Muslim world, and maybe they're not teenagers or something like that, but they're used to certain things. They've seen things, and it completely changes them because you can't act that way here.
The environment shapes them.
Their environment, they won't let you, man. Come on, it's certain things that we do or we used to do in the States. Maybe we walk around with our shirt off. You're not going to do that in Medina.
That's right.
Somebody's going to come and say, wait, come here, man, put your shirt on.
Yeah.
The community checks each other. And he don't have to be that religious. It's not even about that. It's not a sheikh that's going to come and tell you. That guy that's selling bread, he's going to be like, man, here, take my shirt. Yeah. You can't walk around like that. Community, man. Community molds you.
Yeah.
And this is, where did we get lost, man? What happened? Like, where did we lose sight of what the real objective is?
Definitely.
It's funny because hubb dunya, it's real. And some people don't even understand what that is. But you see it. You say, look, at the cost of my whole family, I want to keep doing this because I want to get money. And then you're losing everything. Your whole house is burning down. And you don't know what's going on because they come in, they see you, they say, Abby, So, go ahead.
So, because I want to touch on this because, so for those then who are still in the West, okay, practicing Muslims, really holding on to their religion, but they feel safe. They say, look, we have a good masjid, alhamdulillah, local masjid. We have durus. Kids are studying. Some of them may even be going to Islamic schools. What would you say to those people?
I think that we're not isolated as Muslims too. I'm from Chicago, right? And you're from New York City, and this guy's in Cairo, and this guy's... The Muslims are an ummah, right? And that's something that I couldn't say that I've ever seen in Christianity, for example, and where we're for part of the whole global Christian ummah. Like, maybe I've never heard it. It's like everything becomes localized. This is our church and what the problem is that I don't really know, and I don't want to say what people's intentions are. I don't know. But it would seem to me that you would want to build up your country or where you came, because there's a lot of immigrant communities that are doing that. And the indigenous ones, we can't talk about them so much because this is all they know. Like, we're building a masjid where we are, and that's that. But I would say I have two messages. The first message to the indigenous population is to understand that you're a part of a global community, right? You have Muslims everywhere. And when you come, you'll be surprised how they treat you. They'll say, my brother, come. And it's the funny thing about the masajid thing is, what masjid is your masjid? I mean, if you're in Egypt, it's the one across the street. And if you, so I'm saying, and if you live over here, it's the one over there. Yeah. That doesn't exist like in that way. And I can understand why it exists like that in the States. But I'm just saying the reality of it is that you go pray wherever the masjid is at, right? So I think it's a bubble. It's like creating a bubble and a false sense of security within that bubble. And what's happening is that the kids are outside of the bubble and they're exploring outside and you don't know about it. That's what's happening. If you really knew what's going on, you may not think like that. You would probably say, I think it's better if we raise our families outside of this environment. Bro, come on, man.
Because some people, they believe that, I believe that they don't see that the environment, the larger environment has an effect as long as my kid is home, he's going to this masjid, he's going to this school. But isn't it a fact that the other children, you don't know what is impacting the children that's around your children, and now because the ripple effects.
Yeah, bro, we've seen it. Right? I mean, the brother that we spoke to, that we had a discussion with earlier, he blew my mind, man. I'm telling you, because, and I don't want to blow it, because I know at some point you talk to him.
No, let's speak about it. What was it about? What was about?
I mean, even you started talking like, yeah, my people this.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, I can't believe it that the people come from different countries and their offspring turn into worse than
the
local people and what they're doing. I'm like, how can you not see that it may have been better if you just stayed back over there?
And that's one generation, by the way, we're talking about. One generation.
Bro, it's crazy to me, man. SubhanAllah, like, and I think that they feel powerless. Like they can't, once they, maybe, I think it's that your children respect you, right? And it's certain things they're not going to say in front of their father and their mother even. So they can be one personality in front of you and a whole different personality outside. And so we're naive, man. I used to think that my kids, I never think that maybe they stole a candy bar or a piece of candy or something just stupid. I used to think, they don't do that.
Yeah.
But you come to find out later that, he sold chips before or he did this. So I'm saying that we have to be diligent in creating an environment that when they leave the house, the influence is a positive influence. We can't live in the ghetto and expect the ghetto not to have an effect on our children. And it's funny because a lot of I'm not going to talk about that situation, but I'm going to talk about a situation I know. A lot of the refugees that came from Somalia in our city, they moved them right into the ghetto. And then if you go back, if you look at them 10 years later, there's no difference between them and the other ones and the other kids.
How they found that?
So what are we doing? And I know that's a unique case because sometimes the refugee situation is a lot different. But I'm just saying, and then some of them, some of the people, they were professionals and they went but then their influence is something different. Now, some of these kids are on drugs or doing whatever those children do in that environment.
Right.
So you can try to isolate yourself. But at the end of the day, after they leave that block, now they're in the real world.
Yeah.
But guess what? I can go this way for 10 miles and that way for 20 miles, and it's still the same environment. And I'm talking about even here in UAE. I don't know if you UAE, but anyway. or Cairo, any place. I'm saying you go that way 10 miles and that way 10 miles, you're going to find the same environment. And even if it's like a bad place, some places are poorer than others, but then there are certain red lines. Yeah.
Yeah, like the fitrah is there, the fitrah is there. And when we think about safety and security, right? I mean, every single person, human being, values safety and security.
No.
What we forget, though, is the safety and security of our religion.
No.
Which is the most important one.
Right.
But, as you're saying now, like whether it's here in the UAE, whether it's Egypt,
No.
Really, when it's Guinea, you know, it's the level. There's just certain things that are just standard.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
No.
that people know it's a no-no. There are red lines.
No.
You know, and the level of the fitra is there with the people. Not to say there's no criminals, there's no people.
Yeah.
That happens everywhere.
Right.
But there's, guess what? It's not that many. It's not as many as that's the difference.
Bro, listen, look, man, my mother used to come visit me early on. She'd come visit. And I told her, I said, Mom, look, why don't you just move?
Yeah.
Like, because listen, man, and my mother she wouldn't be upset if I told you, but one time I was just walking past the kitchen, like I was younger, and I saw my mother crying with her checkbook and her bills. And she was just crying. And I said, just to have that leased car, just to have this house, and just to have this furniture that you bought the leather one that costs a lot, so you got to pay with the credit card. And just for that, look at the result of that. Look at how you feel. Look at the situation you're in. I didn't say that to her, but that's what I thought in my mind as I was looking at her. So I was saying, look, Mom, because she wasn't Muslim. I said, if you came here, you would own everything. You wouldn't owe anybody anything. And she was retiring, so I guess she said, he might be right. So she came to live with us. Okay. And I'm telling you, after 2 years, she didn't owe anybody nothing. She owned everything in her house without having to pay cards to get it. I mean, she was able to save her money. I'm just saying, but that's one part. The second part it's 3 parts, right? The second part is that she started to change because of the environment. So in the States, maybe she get in the front seat with a man, and now gets in the back seat. Now she's shy to talk to now she doesn't shake hands with men. She's not Muslim.
Oh.
That's the second phase. I'm telling you, environment, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That what she saw and what she lived changed her. So she didn't care she stopped driving even. My mom was a very independent person. So she stopped driving, and she would get a driver. But she could have easily just did what she was doing in the States. Here, let me just try to get this car, try to do this and buy this house with a loan. She could have did the same thing. She stopped. She didn't do none of that. And she was happier because of that. Third phase, she accepted Islam. And my mother's praise, she praying. And it's all environment. We lived in Muslim countries. So it wasn't just Egypt. She started in Egypt. She went to Malaysia. She saw the Muslims.
Well, when you moved there, she was already...
She was with us the whole time. But we went to Kazakhstan even, she was there. And then we went to Turkey, she was there. But I'm trying to tell you, bro, this changes how people think. Because she went there, it's Muslims there. Yeah. It's not like, it's just this church in the corner over here, and then over here it's the white church. And none of that. Muslims everywhere, they all praying the same. The adhan is the same. She heard the adhan in Egypt. She heard the adhan in Malaysia. She heard the adhan in Turkey, the adhan in Kazakhstan even. So that affects, and then the way that people treat her and the way that people interact with one another, it's the same. These are Muslims. So she's like,
that in the surface, that's the da'wah.
Bro, that's what I'm trying to say.
Stronger than the da'wah that was coming from you. I'm sure you gave a da'wah for.
Yeah, but I was rough. I was rough. I said, now, if you don't accept this message, just bear witness. Yeah. This is how I'm talking to her. She's like, man, but the practices, to see, because people will call her and say, this is what's happening with my granddaughter. This is what's happening with this. And then she'll look at her grandkids and say, this doesn't exist. Stuff doesn't exist. This one's pregnant by this one. This one is whatever they doing. And this one has hard times, and this one's on drugs. And she look and say, this is the truth.
May I ask you if I can ask you, at what point did she accept Islam? Because I want to talk about your journey, right? From Egypt, because a lot of people, I don't know, people follow your channel, they know. But, you did at some point, you stayed in Egypt, I think, up to 17 years before you moved, right?
Right.
If I remember.
Yeah. That's about
And then from there you went to Malaysia. Malaysia, and then you went to Kazakhstan, went to Turkey, came back to Egypt, right? Since you're speaking about your mother, I'm just curious to know, at what point did she accept this? Is that before you went to Malaysia, or?
That's interesting too, man, because she was observing the whole time. Yeah. People watching you, man. It's not what you say, it's what you do, right? So she's watching us the whole time. So we leave Egypt. She's not Muslim. She goes to Malaysia. She loves it. And she's seeing just people, way that people deal with her and everything. She just loves it, right? And in the background, my daughters are talking to her. And because, subhanAllah, they want her to be Muslim. They don't know anything else. So they're like, why are you not Muslim? But not in a mean way, right? They just can't understand it. But me, I understand because I dealt with non-Muslims. We Muslims, your choice, whatever. This is how we see it. But for them, it's just like, why wouldn't you be Muslim? Like, I can't understand why there's another choice for you. Like, and they just kept doing that.
And they're not being rough.
They're not being rough, no, because they love.
They love, and there's not.
They want you. They want you. See, it's different. It's a different type of thing. Like, you want somebody to be Muslim because you fear of what's going to happen to you if you're not Muslim, and you know about Islam. So if you don't accept this, we don't want you to see you go like that. That's love. So they did that. Then we went to Kazakhstan. She still wasn't Muslim. So we went to Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan was different because the weather was rough or whatever, but still, they still talking to her. She's still doing it. And then finally we went to Turkey. And then when we went to Turkey, she started saying stuff. She started saying, I don't understand why this or that, and talking about her own religion. And I'm like, I never heard her talk like that before. She was saying to us, I want to be Muslim, but didn't say it. You know, she just was.
She started having shak about.
Yeah, her shak, like, why did this and that? I don't understand that. You know, she started saying stuff like that. And I'm like, So she's saying she want to be Muslim, but she's not saying it. So I got a brother, he knows who he is, an older brother, to talk to her. I said, can you talk to my mother? So he talked to her, Shahada. MashaAllah. And from that day, 5 daily prayers. On time. Like, and I don't mean, a lot of us, when I say on time, I don't mean missing it. But I'm saying a van prayer. And it was to a point where we were like, like at least let the karma come on, you know. But nah, man, she was, you know, mashallah, man, my mom's like, you know. But I'm saying that, man, it's so powerful. And you know, people, man, subhanAllah, like, they really don't know what this is. I can't say that. I'll say this, man, that like this, some people call it dawah. They say you're giving dawah to Hijra, right? And I'm just saying, I'm just telling you, I'm enlightening you or informing you of what's there, because they want to make it seem that it's poverty, it's terrorism, it's this, that. So that even, bro, I'm telling you, man, like when I say this, and I'm trying to like Egypt had a problem. Egypt was going through a revolution. And when people would ask you, are you okay? Is everything fine? Bro, listen, man, were you there? You weren't there. Huh?
I wasn't there.
Bro, listen, man, bro, if the police leave the street in America, what are people going to do?
What's going to be?
Bro, they going to get the TVs. They going to get the...
We see it happen.
It happens, bro. And the thing is that the police left.
Yeah.
The police left.
Oh, you mean in Egypt?
In Egypt, the police literally left. We're not talking about in a state, maybe they said stand down. They left. They said, we out of here. Because after the revolution, right? The men came down. They started making roadblocks. They started policing their own neighborhoods. Like, you could have left it like that. That's what I'm saying. Where's the looting? Where's the crime? I'm saying, man, like, bro, how do we think that the Muslim world is backwards and poverty stricken and this, that, and the other? There are situations where people need, no doubt. And there are situations where development needs to take place. But in my opinion, that's where you come in.
That's fine. That's an opportunity.
That's an opportunity for you to help people. That if there was no poor people, why is it strange that you have Zakat al-Fitr in the States and they're like, do you know somebody over there that could? Mm-hmm. Because you see nobody that deserves Zakat al-Fitr there. But here is your opportunity to help people. This could be something simple, man. It could be that they need water. They need fresh water. Somebody can pipe it, get something from a well and pipe it to the village, and they have water. Yeah. So don't look at it like poverty in the Muslim world as something that will prevent you from coming and trying to help people. Right. Do you get my point? Absolutely. It's an opportunity. Yeah. But again, like I said, bro, like those situations, I think people just need to at least put off that trip to Jamaica and take that trip to somewhere over here. Go to Umrah. I'm just saying, do something like that so that you can start to see that they lie to you.
Or instead of Jamaica also, if not Umrah, actually come to Dubai.
Come to Dubai.
Regardless of what people are trying to, the picture they're trying to paint, come to Dubai. I'm not even saying Sharjah. You know, I'm not saying,
Archman or something. Come to Dubai. Because look, man, everything they're saying, look, most people that have a problem, some people had a problem and they came before and they saw something that they didn't like or whatever. But then I would ask, where were you at? How did that happen?
Yeah.
If you just go down the look, man, look, check this out. We're in the airport. It's my birthday. They don't care that is people that don't understand or whatever. The van is playing. A van, come on. And we don't care if you like it or not. The Dubai airport. We walking in the thing and I'm saying, this is amazing. And it never ceases to amaze me. I've been around for a while. But I'm like, if they care what you, with non-Muslims and bars, and if they really care about that, why are they playing this Adhan like that? They don't, it's time to pray. Put the Adhan on.
Can I say something interesting about Dubai specifically?
Go ahead.
You know, Dubai airport is one of those airports, maybe one of the very few, if the only one I know actually, that's considered as a quiet airport. No announcements. If you know this, they don't announce like in Cairo airport, this plane has landed, this plane is about to leave.
I didn't notice that.
It don't happen in Dubai airport.
I didn't know that.
But when the Adhan time comes,
it goes. And it's not quiet. It's loud. Like here, it's time. We were we were in Jeddah. So we coming off the plane. Yeah. Same thing. Then, bam. Then
you did the same.
Yeah, bro. People take that for granted, man. Like people take it for granted, and it's there. Like you walk in. I can't remember. I know in Jeddah you walk. This is the departures. You walk in. Every few spaces, it's a musalla.
Yeah. Madinah airport is the same.
Isn't that weird though? Like, it's not one musalla. Okay, in New York, it's one musalla over there.
Yeah.
But you walk down wherever you are, you can pray.
Wallahi, Madinah airport, even it's small in Jeddah, same thing.
Bruh.
It doesn't cease to amaze me.
I see that.
Musalla for men, musalla for women.
Bruh, walk down, and that's what you're going to see.
You don't have to go out of your terminal, out of your
No,
way
you don't.
To go pray. Just head to your terminal. You're going to get your prayer.
Bro, you go to Turkey, it's like that. You go to Malaysia, it's like that.
I got to take you places here.
You have to.
I want you to see, I don't know if you've seen here, the masajid in the malls.
No, did I?
Masajid in the malls. I don't care, even Dubai they're talking about. Go to any mall.
No.
Masjid with an imam.
Like you, Juma in there.
Ramadan, Tarawih.
Bro, listen to this. My mother had an operation, and it was on Juma. I don't know why I was worried. I'm like, this is on Yom Juma. Like what? So I had to take her, and I'm like, okay, it's a masajid everywhere. But I asked the nurse, I need to pray Juma. Where's? Go downstairs in the hospital.
Juma.
In Juma, in the hospital. You go to the basement. They set it up. It's a masjid. I'm not talking about like 3 people praying. No, this is Juma, bro. I'm just saying. So, man, it's those small things, like, and it's something a brother said that was really, really stuck with me. He was like, it's on you if you decide not to pray and not to practice.
Yeah.
Because they did everything. Say what you want to say about them, what they do, whatever, I don't care. At the end of the day, they facilitate for you to practice your religion. Really, they do. And if
they don't make it uncomfortable,
bro,
they don't stop you. In fact, they make it so easy.
Bro, come on. Now, especially Cairo. It's everywhere though. I'm telling you, where we lived in Turkey, I can't speak of Istanbul, all these places. I didn't live in Istanbul. But it seemed like they built the neighborhoods around the masajid. You visited where we lived.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm saying the masjid is there.
Community. It's center of the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's there.
Same
And
here.
say what you want to say, anything you want to say about Turkey.
Look at Rahab.
Rahab is the same.
Look at even, let's say, Tajammu, just like Awwal or anywhere.
Everywhere.
Masjid is like the center, then they build.
Bro, listen, check this out. One of a family friend, he's my son's friend. He moved into a place, and I was thinking, like, where are we? Where's stuff at here? So we got out. It was time for Asr. So I'm like, where can we pray? He came out of his house. He said, the masjid is right there. It's in front of the house, but it's under the building. It's like you walk down the steps, there's the masjid. Bro, I'm telling you, man, like, if you don't pray,
you don't want to.
You don't want to pray. Don't try to blame nobody but yourself. And the Muslim, they calling their adhan out loud, and even people would complain, like non-Muslims would complain about how loud it was. Like one brother, he was living in a building, and the speaker was right there, like like it was inside his window. And it's like, for him, that's going to wake you up.
Yeah.
That's going to, okay, it's time to pray. Even though you can hear it everywhere. But some people will complain about that. Like, oh, it's too loud. Can you turn it down? Can you? No, bro.
Yeah.
They don't care. It's time to pray. Do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. So I mean, these are the things that, people hear about it, but, it's like I tell people now about Medina, but that's really it's not about Medina. It's a whole Muslim world. Egypt is like that.
No.
You can never know the feeling, the peace of mind, the contentment and the joy that you get living in the Muslim lands until you come and taste it.
Bro,
and
visit.
The day you do, you will regret it.
They need to visit.
That you delay. They need to visit.
Bro, listen, even people that left, because I'm sure they left certain situations, like maybe they were in a village or they were somewhere, whatever. Even them, come visit your country, because you'll be surprised, man. New Cairo is, man.
Look what we were there in Medina.
No,
that's true,
bro. Come on, man. How can I'm thinking to myself, like, this is very nice. How would it be better?
We couldn't, in the US, most of us will never be able to be on a ship like that.
Bro, but think about this, man.
Yeah.
We ate. How's the food?
Oh, wallahi, I've been thinking about this now. Like, no, really. I cannot wait to go back.
Bro.
Oh.
Bro, I'm done, man. Because some people, I mean, I don't know what people are thinking, bro. Like, it's this, if you want this, if you just want that,
just come.
Go check it out.
By the way, you can get more of that if that's what you want, because here you can afford it more.
No.
It's more accessible, it's more affordable.
No.
If that's what you want out of this life,
no.
Guess what?
It's there.
You can get it better in Cairo.
You can get
versus in New York City.
You can get it. And hear the band with it.
At least pray on time.
Bro, listen to this. Check this out. We didn't talk about Ramadan. We didn't talk about how when they call the adhan for Maghrib, it's a wrap. Just wherever you are, stay there. Because there's nobody. Everybody's like, I'm going. I'm at home. Yeah. And then even if you're driving and it's almost close, bro, it's crazy. People trying to hurry up and get home. Man, look, man, it's a whole different... Ramadan in America, come on. It's like everybody's going on with their life, eating around you. People are not even eating around you. Yeah. It's just I've never seen it, but I'm sure people may have seen something like that, but I've never, ever seen it. But it could.
Even here, you're not even allowed, even the non-Muslims, I believe, in the UAE, Dubai, you're not allowed to eat in public. Yeah, not during Ramadan.
But come on, man.
You know?
Like, look, if you want to be religious, I guess that's the issue. Like, if you want to practice religion, and I think maybe this is the bottom line, because you accept Islam. I accepted Islam. Why did I accept it if I don't want to practice it? What do I get out of accepting Islam? Somebody gonna give me some money? I don't. You accepting Islam so you can practice Islam, right?
And you should aim to.
So go to the places that you can practice it easier, and all of those things that everybody has their thing. They have their issue that Allah tests you with.
Yeah.
It could be women, it could be drugs, it could be this. Try doing that in the Muslim world. It's not easy. You can look, man. I know brothers that send brothers out of the States because they can't function there. Like you have this older generation that have these real deep habits. Like imagine being an alcoholic for 40 years, right? It's not an easy habit to break as you become Muslim. So sometimes they have to get out of there. That just makes sense, right?
I mean, if you go back to the hadith of the man that killed 99 people.
Nah.
Wasn't that the advice?
No, exactly. No? Right.
You know, change the environment.
Change your environment.
Go to a place where you have good people, better people, and they will shape you. But the greatest value people will see is when you see it in your children. Because look, Muslim and non-Muslim, anyone who has an akal, who has an intellect, they value the offspring.
No.
They value the children. And you want them to be safe and secure, and you want them to thrive.
No.
When you come to the Muslim world and you see how your children become. If this is,
it's another podcast to talk about the mistakes that we made in this. But when it's all around you, look, my son said something profound to me, because I'm talking about, that this one might have a boyfriend and this might have a girlfriend or whatever the case. Like, we're just talking about these things. And he said, I don't see it that way. I'm like, what do you mean you don't see it that way? Like, because I'm talking about the States, right? So he's like, when I see a couple, by default, they're married. Ain't that right? If we open the thing and look outside and see a man and a woman walking together, you're going to be like, that's boyfriend, girlfriend? You're going to say they're married. And not even think about it.
Because that's the default.
That's the default, bro.
You automatically apply.
You automatically are married. Even if you're not. The default is this. That's your sister you walking with. But that's what he refers to. That's what it goes back to him. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, how important the environment is. Because if you understand the environment, if you go to the States and you see the same thing, you'd be like, maybe they are, maybe they're not. Mm-hmm. But in this environment, they are. That's the default. And they could be not. But it's not, that's rare. So taking that into consideration, it's like, if I hear the adhan, this is how they're thinking. People are going to pray. Like, it's time to pray. So I'm going to pray. So I'm just saying, and so if you're teaching your children that and pushing them towards that, because some people, they don't pray with the adhan or anything. But I'm saying, as a father, as a family, you're pushing your children to pray when they hear the adhan. The adhan is being called outside. I didn't call the adhan in the house. It's called outside. So you know it's time to pray. So if I said, let's pray, it's time to pray to them. So I'm just saying, we talk about prayer, Ramadan, anything. It's Ramadan. Everybody knows. It's not like somebody calling and say, hey man, it's Ramadan. I didn't know it was Ramadan. That's the States, right? If you're not locked into the community, you won't even know it's Ramadan. Here you're going to know it's Ramadan. And the country announces it. All the countries announce it. So I'm just saying.
Everybody fast the same day. Everybody eat on the same day.
The Eid is empty. You walk into the Eid prayer and people, it's cars coming just to go to the Eid. But I'm saying that it's the whole community.
Everybody's going to the same.
Everybody going to the Eid, bro. Like, it's just, this is just what it, come on, man. Do we need to say more? I'm just saying.
Honestly, and this is a good transition, I think, to what I want to talk about now. I know this is extremely long, but we're tapping into part one and part two, but super valuable. I want to talk about make Hijrah.
No. Okay.
You've first and foremost, Jazakallah khairan, on my behalf and on behalf of every other Muslim who has watched the channel.
No.
It has inspired them and motivated them whether they made Hijrah yet or not. What I can tell you, for us, finding Make Hijrah was like, it was like, like when you want to do something, but you just need that push.
Right.
That was like the push.
No.
Find a channel. So, sometimes, we do work and we don't understand the impact of our work.
No.
But I'm telling you, the impact of Make Hijrah and, similar channels, and you will never understand until you meet your Lord. That's the only thing I can say. You can never understand. So for those who don't know, and there's people who don't know, we have to, we're going to do more work to make sure they know.
No.
You built a channel that is dedicated. I mean, the name is Make Hijrah.
No.
Dedicated to giving you information about the Muslim world.
No.
To give you the information, the knowledge that you need to make a decision.
No.
And you have no excuse to say, I don't know. Because I've seen, alhamdulillah, not only do you make the efforts to create content, Allahu Barak, amazing content, but also you make the efforts to share information about all the places that you know yourself, that you even travel to specifically just for content. Walillah alhamd. And on top of that also, but you have a network now, a huge network of people, even in countries that you have not been to, who are willing and able to share information about those lands. So I want to talk about, I want people first and foremost to know that exists. You have Make Hijrah on YouTube, you have MakeHijrah.com, the website, which is a platform of its own. But talk to me about that. Like, how did that idea to build this platform come about?
Well, originally we had a website called Us in Egypt. And basically it was just giving information about Egypt, the prices, the how you say stuff and that type of thing. And that came about because we didn't find many things there, many resources for people who wanted to travel and live in the Muslim world. So we didn't have that. It didn't exist. So we did that. And here's the story, Make Hijrah story, right? So a friend of mine, he said, I want to go to Malaysia, right? This is before we moved to and all that. And I said, okay. He said, you want to come with me? I said, yeah. So we traveled to a city called Penang, right, in Malaysia. So that city it's a mix of Chinese and what have you. So then from there we said, okay, let's go to Kuala Lumpur. And then we started exploring the country, right? And I said, subhanAllah, the Muslim world is vast. The Muslim world is not this one thing, right? And you find different benefits at different places, right? I said, Make Hijrah, right? So that brother and I, we came up with this concept, and then I just went with it. I said, I started filming apartments, and I'm like, bro, listen, man, the Muslim world is amazing. Like Egypt can be, somebody can come, because that happened actually. A brother came, he was in Brunei. He came and he said, man, how do you live in this place? Like, like he came from Brunei and he was a doctor. He had certain standards, man, that you can't force a person with higher standards to settle. You know what I mean? Like for them, it's like, that's a Muslim country too. So I'd rather be there. So Egypt was just for people who wanted to come to Egypt and maybe wanted to attend the centers and things like that. But then when I started to open my eyes, I saw other places. I mentioned that earlier. I saw other places, but this is what really tipped it. This tipped it for me because the other places were different too. Jordan is beautiful. Amman is beautiful. Damascus was at that time. I don't know what it's like now, but Damascus at that time was beautiful. It was clean, you know. And people were going there they had a center there as well. So anyway, and then Amman had the Al-Albani Center. I don't know if you ever heard of it. So we visited Al-Albani Center. We went around, but the landscape, the environments are different. Landscape's different. People different. You know, it's like, and everybody at the end is like, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. You know what I mean? You Muslim, wherever you, subhanAllah, man. We had this limited mentality. You gotta broaden this and see it. Anyway, So that's what sparked it.
When was this, if I may ask? Around when
Man, I don't even remember, man. It had to have been, subhanAllah. I can't remember. Yeah, it was before that. Because whenever you started watching the channel, I started immediately. When I got back to Cairo, I was like, I'm filming this. I'm going to put these things together to see the houses and what they look like and all this stuff. So I started right away. And then from that point forward, I realized that if you're, I'm not saying people that don't make Hijrah aren't serious people. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that us in these environments, bro, trust me, man. I left, hold on a second. I was Muslim how many years? 4 to 10, about 10 years, close to 10 years before I left. So here's my life. I have to work. I have to do this. I have to do that. And I'm just seeing stuff. I'm seeing you go to work in the warehouse and what ladies over there trying to talk to you. And this is, it's like you're Muslim here inside. And everybody looks at you like you're one of them. So they're dealing with you like this. Smoking in front of you, doing this, asking you I don't know how many people ask me if I had some drugs. Like this is just normal. Where in certain neighborhoods they ask you got they say work. You got some work? Meaning like, can you sell me some drugs so I can sell it to somebody else? Or do you have some drugs? I want to, it's just normal. And you got a beard and whatever else you have on, a thobe, it doesn't matter. And then on top of that, in our city, like if you wear thobes, you serious. Because you're going to get tested. They'd be like, why you got that dress on? Now you got to deal with that. So, and I know brothers, man, they were serious. Like they wore the thobes, I wore thobes at that time. But I'm just saying, well, I didn't wear all the time, but I wear it sometimes. But the point is, if you wear it, you better be serious because people are going to test you, So those type of environments, it's like, why? It's another place you can go. There's another life you can live. And if you're serious about your religion, especially those brothers that want to wear a thobe and know that everybody's looking at you like you're homosexual even, it's to that level. So it's like, come on, bro. This place here, it accommodates that. If you, whatever you want to do, you want to, and there's more places, some places are more accommodating than others, bro. You wouldn't believe it, man. Like, even Kazakhstan, if you're walking around, your wife wearing the niqab, and a lot of the women there, they don't even wear hijab, a lot of them. And the men are like going the other way because they see your wife coming or they see you and your wife.
They switch this. They go to the other side of the road.
They go to the other side. They move around. And this funny thing is we're in the grocery store in the States. My wife has niqab. And they're like, go back to your country.
Little do they know.
I'm like, this is her country. You know what I mean? This is their country. What you talking about? So, I mean, look, bro, man, I'm telling you, like, I'm telling you, man, that was the whole thing about Make Hijrah. It was to say, look, this exists.
Yeah. To show you the side of the Muslim world, they don't want
you. What do you see? Bro, listen, I'm telling you, it's brothers, it's people now that think Egypt is just sand and tents and pyramids. That's what they think. So I'm like, no. And you'll be surprised that some brothers never went to the pyramids. People, they like, we ain't come here for that. You know what I mean? They're not going over to the pyramids, even though it's right there. That's what I'm saying.
Like, I passed by them. I've seen them.
Yeah.
But not because I took a trip to the pyramids. Like,
bro, listen, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Like, you think it's just that. You think it's just that when it's people that are there that haven't been there.
Can I tell you something?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro.
So, watch Make Hijrah. I'm going to say that. Look, you guys have a lot of content. I know that obviously channel got deleted before.
No.
There was some unbelievable, amazing content, and I hope some of it's preserved that you can put back.
No.
But it shows you, gives you a picture of what life is like in the Muslim world.
Right.
And the kind of quality of life you can have. We said earlier, I think, you said earlier that this is, it's the happiest you've ever been.
Right.
I can't say the same.
No.
I can tell you of 10, 20, 30, 40 other brothers who will say the same. But not only that. Some of us nowadays, after making Hijrah, remember, we don't make Hijrah because we fear poverty, we fear this and that and this and that. But many of us have made Hijrah. Even if the intention wasn't Hijrah, you moved to the Muslim lands. we live like we never lived before in the West. We live like we could never imagine being able to live.
Bro, I want to tell you something. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. I've met people that I would never have the chance to meet in the States. These same people in the States, I would never, ever, ever have the opportunity to meet them. And, you know, I try to explain this, as some people don't understand it. It's like some rooms, you technically don't belong in those rooms if you're in the States. And it may exist there, but I didn't see it. But I would be in front of somebody that's multi-millionaire, used to be the former minister, assistant, of whatever, right? I mean, I met multiple like this, not just one. And they're like, hey, come to my house. You could drink tea. You could tell them, like, I have ideas. What you think about it? Yeah. You know what I mean? These people, bro, listen, if he's a millionaire, you won't even see him for the most part. Yeah. I mean, it's exceptions to that.
He lives in a whole other city.
And you can't,
in a neighborhood.
You never been and you can't go.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they're isolated and they have their own people. And you, look, man, you've been in a job where you don't know who's the upper boss, like the upper boss. So it's different here. It's different here. I've sat, man, listen, one of my son's landlords in Turkey, he owns this big, huge factory, man. You would be amazed. Like, he makes these, tractor for agriculture parts, big, huge parts, manufactures them in a big warehouse. And he comes in and he's like, here's some tea. He's smiling. He's like, hey man, can you bring an iPhone back with you? But I'm saying, bro, like, you have no business. A guy like that, you can't touch him. Yeah. Literally, this guy is the owner of this thing. The people that own the places we live in, he brought Casio to Egypt. He's a major player. But I'm saying, like, bro, if I insisted to sit with him and do something, he was like, hey, sit with him. Yeah. So I'm saying all that to say, the opportunities are tremendous. Come on, man.
Especially coming again from,
go ahead. No, go ahead, bro.
Coming from the West, having the experience that we have, in a sense, there's a privilege that we're given when, and again, it's not a choice, it's not like something that you go bragging about, but look, you being American, you being British, you having that educational, that background, experience, knowledge, whatever it is, it's valued for some people.
Right.
And that is an opportunity for you in certain situations to leverage for opportunities.
Right.
Not take advantage of people.
Right.
But to do good with that.
Right.
And where you are now in the West, nobody cares.
Bro, you somebody to go for an interview. Maybe they look at your resume, maybe they throw it in the garbage. Yeah. You nobody really, but here, and I guess that works in our favor, bro. It works in our favor that we can come to a place and be welcomed like this. And then not only that, have opportunities. If you're a go-getter, you can make it. Inshallah, you'll make Allah open a way for you. And whatever you have written, you're going to get it. Regardless of whether you are, where you are.
So for you and for you being, and this is also, I'm going to transition into, because the question people ask, people look at us and they think, these people are privileged. These people came from money. These people have this and that. That's why they can sit here and lecture us and talk about this.
Right.
So, I want to, you've been on this journey for a long time. Allah Mubarak. May Allah preserve you and your family upon you. My question to you is, throughout these years, was it always just smooth sailing? Did you first and foremost come here with a lot of wealth? Did you have someone from back home just like every month, like, all your stuff are taken care of?
Bro, listen, man. In the beginning, we had a business and it was, mashallah, it was a good business. So when I came, I was able to sustain myself with resources from back home. Then the business failed. Right. So we had to go and try to reinvent ourselves and do things. And it didn't work. Right. Or it didn't work the way we needed it to, because we were used to a certain standard. So, at that point I had to try to figure out how I'm going to do it on the ground. So I started to network and started, you have to be, man, look, you're not going to sit in the States and not do nothing. You know, you have to be a man wherever you are, right? And understand you have responsibility and you have to take care of it. So you can do that anywhere. You could do that Dubai, you can do it Qatar, you could do it Egypt, you could do it anywhere. You get out there and say, okay, what do I have to offer the market? Yeah. And get out there and do it. And I know brothers that did it as if they were in the States. They went to this school, that place, this place. And they say, you hire, you do, this is what I have to offer. They did that. And that's just a person that wants to be an employee. Like, not to businessman, that's something different. Like if you have that business mind, then like you said, bro, it was profound and I still remember it. Garbage in the street is an opportunity. Because if you can solve a problem for somebody, they'll pay you, right? And that's the basis of business. So anybody can do that, really. If they understand that, how to solve a problem, they can make a business out of it. So businessmen is something different. Mm. Employees even can make it, you know. And then there's other ways to do it. So saying that to say my experience has been ups and downs. And it's not been like just one smooth sailing. But what you tend to find is that once you find that stride
that's working for you,
that's working for you, then you can start planning.
I want to talk about, so on this point about, you know, maintaining and sustaining. You've been on this journey for over 20 years, right? Because I thought you were 20 years, I believe.
No.
Again, people will look at it, you know, the biggest, I think, concern and question I've heard people ask about is how do they maintain the Hijrah in terms of income?
Right.
So you mentioned that, you know, you had the business that was initially, alhamdulillah, was able to help you sustain. And then that failed. Now you had to go back to the drawing board. Mm. What was that transition like? And how, you know, can you talk about, like, walk us through that transition? And what did you decide to go into? And, you know, how has that evolved over time?
There's brothers that have been doing this for much longer than I have. It's just that at the time, there was no social media. And then some brothers, they're private. So they don't expose what they're doing and things like this. But you have brothers, man, 30, 40 years. So I just want to put that out there because I don't want to come across like 20 years. 20 years, mashallah.
People like me.
No. It's just that you probably haven't met some of the older brothers, man, that have done this. And a lot of times they don't have a voice because, you know, of the, you know, social media stuff that they don't know this stuff. So anyway, to answer your question, bro, like, there are different types of people, and I'm sure you know that. And I didn't understand it at first until I got a little bit more mature. That you have people that are entrepreneurial. It's nothing. They are entrepreneurs in their heart and in their soul and blood. They're entrepreneurs. And then you have people that are employees. And even if they try, they end up being employees. And an example of this, there was a brother. We had a company, a business, and it was three of us. Two of us, up until right now, we're entrepreneurs. We just can't get away from it. Even if you say, man, forget this, you end up coming back some kind of way, right? But this brother, while we're in the business, he's looking for jobs in the newspaper, right? Until now, he's an employee. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Like, you need both. You need the visionaries, the entrepreneurs, the businessmen, and you need people to work, right? So we all fall into those categories, and there's nothing wrong with that. So my story, that's why I'm prefacing it with that, but just to say that I just never gave up on entrepreneurship, and I probably opened 100 businesses, and probably still am. Like, I just, for something about just the idea of building something that just stays with me. So even while for amount of time in Cairo, I was working. I was doing the web development for this conglomerate of schools, and I was trying to just build my skills. Right. So they didn't ask for it. I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to make a school that has, I'm going to make a central thing, and each school has its face. So you go to the website and it's controlled from this main content management. So this is just.
Is that how you learned how to code? Or
No, I was coding before I came to Egypt. I was coding back in the States. I was coding back when it was frames, iframes, and HTML. I was coding for years before there was even classes to do it. I just saw the internet. I said, I want to do that. I want to learn how to make websites. And so back then, you just view source and copied it over there and just play with stuff so you know what these tags do. So that's how I started.
Right.
And then later, as you dig further, you start to see other things like, how can you log into something? I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. You start to become curious, like, how can I make a member section? Right? You know what I mean? So then you start to learn the technologies that you need. You start to learn the server side and then the client side and the blah, 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 right? So I was doing that before then. But this is a side note that somebody can take. Whatever you're trying to do, you have to practice.
Yeah.
And you have to become obsessed with it. Right. And that's why I was doing it. Like, I made a position for myself. I'm going to build to do this, to this. Then they asked me. I just did it and found it as a challenge, as something like anything you can think of is like that. Like if you want to be a master electrician, you need to go do something a master electrician would do and take on something that's above your pay grade in a way. Right. So that's what I was doing. So I was doing this, making the website for this. Anytime I had opportunity to do it, I would do it. And I would create these features. Like, they have something, I don't want to go too deep, but they have, before they were like, I don't know if you know what a moto is, like, it's like a pop-up thing, right? Before that was a popular thing, I would make a div that would come up and, and it was without any, I was just hacking it, but it looked the same, right? So anyway, that was a techie joint. but the whole point is that that was just me. So and then a friend of mine came to me and told me about internet marketing and direct sales through emails and this type of stuff. Now, this is business stuff now, right? So I took it and I said, okay, but just to be clear, this goes on in what people consider legitimate business and what people consider like, what do you call it? Like scammy type stuff, right? So the good guys, the good ones are the ones that make you think that it's not that. They're doing the exact same thing, collecting your data, all this, and you just giving it to them and you don't realize that they're doing the exact same thing as everybody else. So anyway, I learned that, right? And I learned how to collect data. And then for me, it's ethical because we're Muslim. So I'm going to collect your data and I'm really going to try to provide you with something valuable, right? So that's when I started going into Islamic goods and services, right? And at some point, I was like, I don't like to sell Islamic things. But people, they corrected me. You know what I mean? They corrected me, but I'm just saying it was something. I was like, but if I just go into this, like to the general stuff, then, I won't feel as guilty but in reality, man, that was something within me. It wasn't no guilt. You are offering a service and people are paying for the service you provided. So anyway, I started to build websites like this. I built a website for Huda TV called Huda Academy. And we did something. I don't know if you remember you remember telethons? Yeah, in the US. They didn't know anything about it. So I presented it to them, the ideas to them. I said, look, man, you got all these people that support you, but you're not asking them to support you. Yeah. So make a telethon. And what's a telethon? Okay. So with this, plus you have to set up the infrastructure for this. So I set up the infrastructure and everything, and they made $150,000 in one day. $150,000 in one day.
In one day?
One day.
Allah.
So this, I found like this is where I belong, like this state, but connecting the digital part to the real world part, because people have different types of resources, right? Like you have this Nigerian lady, for example, just as an example. she doesn't have a dollar, but she has a gold bracelet, right? So connecting people nowadays is different now.
Yeah.
Like you can, like especially in Africa, is things are changing. You know, so back then, this is the only thing they had to. I can donate this. Like I don't really care about this, and I support your cause. I can donate to that. So now that things are changing, people have access to at least digital means, right?
Yeah.
So for me, that's what I focus on. That I brought that example just to say that back then is a different opportunity now than it was then. And that's for the world. It's not like I open up a little supermarket on the corner and that mile radius is those are my customers. Now it's global access to anybody in the world, which with that, it's endless opportunities, right? If you can figure out where you can fit to help people, because there's always somebody willing to pay for something. So you need to figure out what problem I can solve. And think about it like this. If you build, for example, for me, it's building websites with business in mind. Back in the day, it was like portfolio. Here's my curtains. And you couldn't buy nothing. It's just like, I give this to you so you can see what my curtains look like now. But now you have apps like Talabat, for example. And you know Talabat, right?
Yeah, they're here too.
Yeah, Talabat. Kareem, or these different apps that allow you to buy things online. Before, you had to call the supermarket and say, come bring me chips and soda, and they would come. Now you just put up the app and you have choices of everywhere. Everybody's on it.
All this phones are available to you.
So I'm saying, like, look, man, I like the idea of, some people just want one. I know brothers that are like, I'm laser focused. Don't tell me no other ideas. Just let's focus on this idea until it's finished. I like them brothers because I can give you I give you that idea. Now I'm gonna go to you and say, what about this one? Yeah. So that's where I found success, bro. It's building businesses, and this one makes this one makes that one makes that. And when you put it all together, you have something, right? But and then I'm changing as I get older. I'm thinking like, okay, I don't know if I can do it, but one big one would be nice. But I don't think I can do it, bro.
You can do it, you know the average age of a millionaire? I heard it's 57 years old.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, I don't know if I can focus on one thing.
You can.
That's the thing.
That, you may have to leave up the other one.
Even you can't focus on one.
Nah, well,
you all over the place, and mashallah. Like that's I think how we can connect, because you have idea, but I don't mean all over the place, just jumping around.
Well, we multiple.
Yeah, right. You were multitasking, even before this. Not to put your business out here, but man, you doing business while we doing a podcast. Like you telling this guy, yo, get this, that, this one, don't get, no, not that. So you multitasking, mashallah, man. At the end of the day, bro, like, people can make it, man. If it's any inspiration that they can take from my story, I didn't have a rich family. I didn't have anything special. You know, it's just that you run it, you go in a direction and see if Allah give you the tawfiq in that, right? Just keep going. Keep doing. If you have the desire to make Hijrah, go. Keep going. Don't give up on it. Bro, as many times I felt like this is not going to happen. It's not the Hijrah, the move just to go study Arabic somewhere. That was like, I'm doing all these different things to try to push that forward. Like I'm having family stay with me. Like, here, this roommate. I'm doing all these things to try to push it forward. But the thing is that when the time is right, the time is right. This is Allah going to put it in place in the right way it's supposed to go. Right?
Upon you to take the asbab.
You got to take the asbab, and you got to be patient.
Yeah. Because
there may be some lessons you need to learn first. Imagine if somebody gave you $1 million when you're 18 years old. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. It ain't your time yet. Yeah. When it's your time, inshallah, you'll get it. And for those who get it early, it could be a bala for you. It could be a test for you. Like, what you gonna do with it now? Right? So that's how I see it. So now when you hit your stride, when you start to say, okay, you're mature now, and you start even to be more mature with money, like, I don't know, but Allah put barakah in my money. I can't say that I'm a rich man, but sometimes I see brothers, like, they have this income and they have that income and this, and they come back and they say, I don't have no money.
They're struggling.
They're struggling still. But if Allah put barakah in your money to the point where you say, I don't really have to count and try to figure it out. Every time you start not to worry, like, bills get paid. Allah put, especially in entrepreneurship, because you do business, it's not always the same amount constantly. You know what I mean? So that's it, bro. But the point is, you have to look at that. You have to look at it as part of the struggle.
No.
You know what I mean? And keep going. Fall down, get back up.
Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. May Allah preserve you and safeguard upon your hijrah. So for someone listening right now who's considering making hijrah, okay, what would be, I guess, the first piece of advice you'd give them, as practical steps?
Right.
And how to mentally, I guess, prepare, for this journey?
The first advice is to realize that it's possible. I think you have to, if you think something's impossible, you're not going to try it, right? I can't do that, right? But if you realize it's possible, that opens the doors. Because now with that mentality, you start to go and research and do things that are necessary before you can take the step. So I would say the first step is to take it out of your mind that it's impossible for me, not for me. I work in a warehouse. I can't do it. No. Before I left, I was working in a warehouse too. I worked in a warehouse before. I worked in these different places. So no, it's possible for you just like it's possible for me. So that's the first thing. And even for people that immigrated, because they'll be like, I can't live over there. Like, I can't leave all this. I can't leave my house. You know what I mean? No, you can.
You can.
It's possible. That's the first step. And of course, it's something khayr. So that's another part. Like, do you doubt, like, when you want to do khayr, do you doubt it? Like, do you get what I mean? Like, I want to help the people over this, and you do your best to do that. But the first step again, Yani, is to believe that it's possible to do, and that Allah is going to aid you in doing it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
On the other hand, for aspiring entrepreneurs,
right,
who want to start their own business, trying to balance again, deen, business, and this concept of making, this idea of making hijrah, because alhamdulillah, one thing for sure is that I believe that starting your own business somehow, right, can be very good for helping with hijrah, right? Because it gives you some kind of independence in terms of location and certain things.
No.
What would be, I guess, your advice again on that as well for them from your own experience, like those who are thinking entrepreneurship instead of being tied down by a job?
I believe that that is definitely something that's embedded in a person. And I'm not sure if it can be learned, because you have to have the drive and desire, and you have to have tough skin. You have to have thick skin, because you're going to fail.
So,
right? So I would say that there's another option, and that option is investment. Aside from being a business guy and you mudir and all that stuff, that may not be for you, but everybody can invest something. And if you get the right mentorship in the investment, you could do that. You can save money. Maybe you can buy something, and then maybe you can turn that thing. Let's say you buy a house, not a big expensive house, but let's just say you bought a house and you turn it into a rental property, or it's just with that, you just need somebody to direct you, somebody to say, okay, this is something good to buy, and then you can turn it into a group home, and now the state is paying you, so you guarantee that now you can go, and then you have that coming in. So investment for people who don't have the entrepreneurial spirit, you got to have it, man, or else you're gonna quit. And I know a brother. He told me, he said, he's like, man, I'm not a businessman. And he tried so many stuff. I seen him try stuff. And at the end, he realized, he said, I'm not a businessman. It's not for me. Every time I try to do something, it doesn't work for me. Right. But he could be an investor. Do you get what I'm saying? He could again. It's not just to throw your money somewhere and people to have good calam. No.
Strategic investment.
You need to do it strategically. You need to have people that you see that are successful in doing that and get some mentorship so that you can invest in things that can support you. And the funny thing is, you don't need that much money. If you live in a struggle life in America, with that same money, you can live a high class life overseas.
Right.
Generally speaking, some countries are more expensive than others, but generally speaking, you can live very well.
Right.
So yeah, as far as entrepreneurs, if you're an entrepreneur, if you had a business before and you know how to run a business and it's in your blood, like it's difficult for you to work for people for long extended periods of time. It would be really good if you can have a business in the States or wherever you're from and that you can leave somebody to run that business. And then you can collect your profit from the business. That'd be great. Then you also can have business in the Muslim world. And I've seen all of that. You know what I mean? So just to let people know that is definitely a possibility. And then also there is, people have different opinions about it, but you can have a plan to, let's say, move your family, move them to a safe community, and then go back and forth over a period of time with some type of objective, not just doing that forever. You can't.
These are most of us different. Many of
us. You can do that.
Yeah.
You could do that, and people have bought apartments. Look, the Somali community, right? And let's say Egypt. They're everywhere, by the way.
They own a lot of properties.
They're everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
So the Somali community, bro, some of the brothers are just taxi drivers. Don't think you got to be engineer, whoever, to do this. You can be a taxi driver that has a stable income, take your family to this place, have a plan. That's the key. Have a plan, say, okay, we're going to buy this place because that's going to eliminate some expenses that we have, for example. And we're going to do this, set our children up for this. And I'm going to do this for 5 years. That's Brother Hamza, by the way. Brother Hamza go back and forth, but he's not trying to do that forever.
Yeah, but he has a plan.
Yeah, he has a plan. Bro, if you go, one day we'll go, inshallah. But if you go to his house, he has chickens, he has plants. And this guy, I mean, the thing about it, he likes that environment. He likes to plant trees and plant this, that, and the other.
I love that too.
But he loves that. So there's other people that like it as well. But he goes and he tries innovative ways to grow stuff up and this type of stuff. He's experimenting. And guess what? The natives, they support him. They come to his house and buy the vegetables and they buy it. Now he's doing eggs and he's doing chickens for like the meat.
This is in Tanzania.
Tanzania.
Come on, man. Let's go. That's
what I'm saying. Bro, I'm telling you, like, come on, man. Nobody can tell me. That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. Nobody can tell me that it's that hard. It's not that hard. It's
to believe what you said.
It's
possible.
You have to believe it's possible.
The willingness to take action.
That's what it is, bro.
That's life in where you are.
Bro, look, man, we do things that generally if somebody look at you and say, that's not going to work. And we do it and pursue it. Some people have like, I'm going to be this basketball player. I'm going to be this rapper or whatever it is. And people look at him and it's like, that's not going to happen. But he believes himself that it's going to happen. So I'm saying like, Hijrah, we're showing you. That's the purpose of Make Hijrah, to show you that. Look at this one. Look at that one. By the way, I wouldn't say that we interviewed even 5% of the Muhajirun.
No. You have not?
And you know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can gather brothers together in a room and have a full room. And I have an interview with not one of those people. Yeah. So it's to say that people are doing.
We just did that, by the way. In Cairo, we just did that.
Yeah. So I'm saying like people, it's not that they need to see that, exactly that, but people need to understand that it's possible.
So much. And this is also what I believe. When it comes to whether Hijrah, when it comes to learning to code, to become an engineer, when it learns to run, starting any business.
Right.
Or whatever else you want to do, you have to start with the belief that's possible.
No.
And you as a Muslim, you have a Lord that you have yaqeen.
No.
That he is able to do all things.
No.
Allah ala kulli shayin qadir.
No.
What's stopping you? Nothing but yourself.
Exactly.
As long as it's halal.
No.
You're not harming anyone in the process.
No.
What's stopping you?
Right.
Get out of your own way And also, it's okay to fail.
No.
You know, like, you're not doing it to fail,
Hmm.
but you have to experiment and try things. And if they don't work, alhamdulillah, move on to the next thing, because you learn from it. Remember, we spoke about it recently.
Bro, listen, man.
Yeah.
We're about to start a new podcast. No, I'm saying what we're talking about right now is another episode. But I have to tell you, I saw a brother. Look, I don't know how long ago it was, but I was bringing brothers to this man that had all these schools, right? And I said, bro, what you used to do in the States? I was the janitor, not a janitor. Well, anyway, like a janitor.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, let's bring it to this guy. Because if you look at his schools, he has graffiti on it. He has not clean all the time. So he needs somebody like a custodian manager. So we created positions, right? So it was a brother that every brother that I knew, I was like, okay, let's try to do this. Let's try to, So I brought a brother there and he got hired and he was working in education and whatever. And he decided to go back and get his education. He didn't have a bachelor's degree or anything. So he went back to get his education to make himself more marketable, right? This brother right now is a college professor, right? So I'm sure
he didn't have a degree before.
He didn't have a degree before, but he was exposed. He said, he looked at it and said, why didn't I get an education? Or why didn't I? But he believed that he could make it to the top. So he went back, got the bachelor's, got the master's, and then went and got the PhD.
Wow.
And now he's a college professor.
Where is he at?
He was in San Diego. He's moving somewhere else. But the point is that after he reaches his goals, he can come here.
That's right. I mean, now if he's got a PhD, khalas.
Yeah.
He can, he's marketable now in any of this country.
But the point is that I've seen it, right? I've seen brothers aspire. These brothers coming from whatever bad conditions that we face in the States, from the lowest possible bad condition, and they aspire to do something because they believe they can, right? So I met this brother. That's another thing too, man. You meet some of the best brothers in your life on this journey. You meet brothers like, subhanAllah, this from all walks of life, right? So this one, again, bro, I'm telling you, you meet some of the best brothers. I mean, we speaking because we're brothers. I mean, not sisters. There's sisters there too, but I can't speak on the sisters. But I'm just saying that, like, come on, man. If anybody can get anything out of this message, man, really, it's that our potential is so great if we just believe in ourselves and we learn to work together.
Yeah.
If we learn to work together, like, you got this, you do that. Why don't I support him?
Right.
But instead of supporting him, I'm going to go to this other place that I'm going to end up giving them the money anyway.
And probably more.
And more money. Yeah. So I'm just saying that if we support one another, we create this circle.
Where everything we need is accessible, is available. And this is also to inspire others who may not have the skills. Let's say, like, for example, the brother to upskill. If there's something we need in the community, we know I need it, you need it, he needs it. One of the brothers can decide to take that on and upskill, like one of the brothers mentioned earlier. Now, we need education is important. We need curriculum design. He's going to take it upon himself to learn it for the betterment of the community. And he's upskilling. Now that becomes a source of income, bi'idhnillah, and everybody benefits. And that in itself is ibadah, with the right intention. So, there's so much, Allahumma barak. Wallahi, there's so much to unpack, there's so much to go through. Hopefully you'll allow me to have more sessions with you like this, bi'idhnillah azza wa jal.
Come on, man.
And we'll actually pick specific topics to go into. For example, I would love to speak to you about, certain things like education, healthcare, in certain places that you've been to. But we can do other episodes for that. So the last thing I do want to say is, I want to speak about is, make Hijrah. We spoke about it earlier, right? And the work that you do there. So I guess what would be the best way for people, one, to support your work and make Hijrah? Because there's a lot that goes into that. And now I know. And now I appreciated you before. Now I appreciate it more. And two reasons why I say that. One is that I've seen, you guys, some of the work that you're doing, this traveling, people have no idea, what goes into that, right? And then secondly, now that I'm behind this camera and microphone creating content, I know how extremely difficult it is. And costly. This is not free. So I guess my 2 questions will be, one is definitely how can the community benefit, first and foremost, let me go there. How can they benefit more from coding for Hijrah? Okay. Secondly, how can they support this work? Right? They may not be here traveling with you. They may not be behind the camera or setting things up, but how could they also support and get the ajr? Because this, bi'idhnillah, is a form of sadaqah jariyah. That's how I see it, right? So that's the second thing. And then third will be what's the best way to connect, which obviously we can share the links to the website, to the YouTube and all that other stuff.
All right. If you don't mind, I'll go backwards, right? The first thing is that we have a YouTube channel. It's called Make Hijrah. Make Hijrah Official. Or you just type in Make Hijrah, you'll find it, inshallah. We have a website called makehijrah.com. So that's the third. The second thing is that we started this and we didn't want any money. And even though it costs money, right? And we just wanted to put the information out there, and and there was the idea of gathering people together and offering services and this type of thing, and we got deleted, right? So then we decided, okay, let's go back at it again, but this time let's try to upgrade the quality of what we're doing and try to, because now in this space, you can't come with something that's not professional. Back then you could. It was information only. But now you have to present yourself. You have to wear the white thobe de Juma. You can't come in there with your pajamas, right? So now it's an issue of offsetting the expenses, and then at some point being able to offer more value. And like you said, it costs money. And it's not fair, man. It's not fair that I make this brother come film me for free and trying to make everything volunteer. It's not fair, man. He put his time in, and he's away from his family and away from his earning potential because he's helping me. And again, okay, inshallah, we're doing it lillah, and we want to see a Yawm al-Qiyamah. We don't want it to be a wasted effort. So I'm balancing those two, right? Inshallah. So we hope that we see it on our scale Yawm al-Qiyamah, and at the same time use whatever we produce in terms of revenue to better the product. And then on top of that, I have a message to Muslims in general, man. We have to start supporting each other, and we have to stop thinking that everything should be free. We have to stop it, which leads us into coding for Hijrah, right? Because coding for Hijrah, people will look at it and say, what? $6,000 or whatever the price, right? And because of that, they think, he just want to take our money and da-da-da. And it's not like that at all. And I have a story to tell about that, because when I left the States, I paid for a brother and his wife to come. And normally I don't talk that. But see, that's the point, is that I didn't think about it until recently.
Yeah.
I'm like,
but I mentioned how much I charge.
Yeah, but the thing was, I paid.
Yeah.
I paid for this. And I didn't never think about it. And I don't like to mention it because it's something that you do. We helped him and and it helped ourselves at the same time, because this brother's been where we've been. So come help us. And here's So
tell us what happened there. What happened with that story? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Yeah. The issue is this, bro, that we pay. We just don't think about it sometimes, right? So when I wanted to come to Egypt to study, I wasn't just going to show up, because I have a wife and I have 3 small children. Like, what am I doing if I just pop up? And so I asked the brother to come, him and his wife, and he came and studied. He wanted to come back anyway. So I was like, okay, come on. Right. Now, this was about I don't know, maybe about $1,500 or something like that. But I didn't think about it. Right? But
What
when
do
I
you think you paid?
Huh?
What do you think you decided to pay?
Bro, listen, if I told you it's going to cost you $1,500 for me to help you do this, you would probably say no.
Yeah, this is too much.
But then you go and pay $1,500 to bring somebody. Do you get what I'm saying? So again, it took me to realize, like, wait a minute. I did pay.
Yeah.
People, you're going to pay. And you're going to pay in more than ways than you think. That's that way. Okay, you pop up in a place, you don't know where to go or where this one stole your money, this one tricked you, this one did that. You paying, right? But if I just gave that money to you or half a fraction of that money to you, you can help me avoid those situations. So that makes sense. Now, people are going to think that, okay, you're trying to justify whatever. It doesn't really matter. That's what actually happens. That's the reality. So if a person is saying, plus, of course, they have to be trustworthy. The community has to trust them. Like if you ask somebody about Abdurrahim, they're going to say Abdurrahim, mashallah.
No.
And as long as he said mashallah to about, nah, okay. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, if they say this one is this or that, okay, don't do it. But if you got a solid, trustworthy brother that's willing to help you and he's charging this, pay it. That's what I say. Which again brings us to coding for Hijrah, because I believe as a coder, I'm not just saying it because I like you, but in reality, you need, if you want to code, first of all, you have to have a desire to code. That's the first thing. It's not going to be something you can just jump in like, oh, the money's there. It doesn't work that way. You have to have a genuine desire to code, and that's what's going to make you, inshallah ta'ala, a good coder. Mm-hmm. And I'm speaking as a coder, right? So if you told me, based on what I know, that it costs $6,000 for me to go from A to Z, instead of spending whatever 15 years, you condense that down into 1 year, you too cheap. Plus, it doesn't cost that much no more. So you even made it cheaper to join. So I guess our collaboration would be this. Well, it doesn't matter about that. But because I really don't care about that. I really think that you need these skills these days, right? But I would preface that to say you have to have the desire, right? Don't jump into the coding thing thinking no, it doesn't work that way. You have to look at what coding is and what it does and have a genuine interest in it. And if you do have a genuine interest in it, code for Hijrah.
Yes. And if I may add something to this shit,
Right.
With the interest is that also, like, people shouldn't just look at it like, oh yeah, now I'm just gonna join coding for Hijrah or any coding program. I make tons of money, I make Hijrah. No, that's not how it works. But the other thing is, though, the interest is, like you said, you can look into it, right? It may seem daunting. It is not necessarily, it necessarily isn't, right? Because just like any skill that's worth learning, there might be a learning curve, it might be a little difficult, but eventually, you get it. No. But the other thing I will say is, go back to why. Make sure before you do this or anything else, you have a very strong why as to why you want to do this. And if it is just so I can make tons of money, shallow. Nah. Okay? Then you're going to have a very difficult journey. But if you say, like, for example, when I started learning how to code, I generally had an interest in code. Okay? Didn't have no experience in it. I dabbled here and there, like you said, copying code from MySpace and, tweaking my page and all that stuff, right? Making it look bling bling. I did that. But I didn't learn code. I didn't learn that in school. No. But then my why was, I want to be a muhajir. What will help me be, location independent? No. Make decent money? No. And actually, you know what? I would love to build I'm entrepreneurial as well. I want to be able to build some stuff on the side for myself. Right. What will check those boxes? And also, I don't want to go back and forth like I was doing the back and forth thing. Right. What will help me? That was really like one of the biggest things. Right. What will help me stop having to go back and forth between here and the West? Right. Fadillah got me to code it. No. Say check. That's it. So now, even though I struggled, to be honest with you. I struggled with learning how to code. And it was so intense. Hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I don't even know if I'll ever do anything harder than that ever again. I struggled. I was afraid I would finish this program. Imposter syndrome, I lived it. Every single moment, okay? But, you know what always helped me? First is having that tawakkul upon Allah Azza wa Jal. going back to why am I doing this?
Right.
If this is for the sake of Allah, for the sake of my deen, to preserve my deen, my family, I'll just show up every single day and I'll keep pushing every single day. I have to take the asbab. I'll put in the effort, but I have trust and reliance upon Allah that in the end, He'll grant me success.
No.
Because I'm doing it for His sake.
No.
So, so I want to combine, definitely if you feel like this is not for you, don't do it. Find something else. There's so many things to do. Right? But if the desire is there and then it fits in with what you're trying to do, give it a try.
Right.
But be patient. You said something earlier. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself. Get out of your own way. And know that things take time.
Right.
So, but for coding for Hijrah, as we were mentioning, we hope, it becomes something that definitely help people become, a means and a tool for them to leverage in the Hijrah, like it's helped me, it's helped you, helped other people. Not coding for yourself. We're talking about programming, engineering. But going back to, make Hijrah in terms of support, do you currently have any way for people to, make donations to the channel or to buy anything like I know you have the book, for example, and stuff like that. Yeah. And again, this is not like people don't look at this as like products that you're just going to buy something.
Right.
It's for you to benefit from. If you really want to make Hijrah, someone took time to compile a book. You buy books anyway.
Right.
And some of these books are self-help books that help you with nothing. Right?
Right.
So like the book, maybe like the book and it's not the consultation, I'm sure, right?
Right. We have currently we have 2 books actually.
Halal.
And we have consultation services, which are important. And that's why I mentioned that story before, that will help you avoid, like you actually save money.
Yes.
And you're paying, and then you're actually getting the information you need before you go to wherever you're going.
Just if I may stop you then. Click on your consultation. The page is beautiful. Allah Mubarak. I don't know how you built it, it's beautiful. Your price is terrible.
But we're not going to talk about that right now. So get it while it's what it is, right?
No, really. Well, no, I'm sorry. Like,
no, I get you. I already know what you're saying.
If listen, look, I offer consultation. Okay, if you want to call me to consult me about Hijrah, you're making a mistake.
Right.
Go to make Hijrah. This is what this is what you guys do. This is what you've been doing. You have so much ample knowledge and connection. And for how much, I don't even want to say that. I'm even...
Bro, listen, man. Listen. People need to get it while it's like this.
People are not willing to pay such a small amount of money to get something that will be 100x more value.
Bro, let me tell you something. I don't do the consultations. When a person signs up for a consultation, they say what they need. I want to talk about this, and I need this. And then we connect them to the person that's going to be the best for them to get that information. So if you want to know about Oman, and I'm thinking about it, we're going to connect you to a guy in Oman, a guy in Saudi Arabia, a guy in Morocco, wherever it is.
So you're actually getting...
You're getting the on-the-ground information from the person there right now. Not he was there 5 years ago.
He's there now.
He's there right now.
Give you current, real-time information.
Right. So guess what? What we do is we compensate those people. So
what they pay, you're not keeping all of it for Make Hijrah.
We don't keep all of it.
Yeah. We may have to do. We may have to do the mastermind of business.
No, I already know what you're talking about, bro. I know it. And the thing about it is that in my heart, that's why I told you earlier. I said this Islamic thing is I'm conflicting inside, right? And I'm saying I just want to help you, but you can't expect. We just got over the hurdle of doing it for free, everything. Right? Now we have people that edit, we have people that film, we have people that do this and that. So somebody has to compensate those people.
Yeah.
So we said, okay, we have to offer services so that we can compensate the people.
Yeah. So
this model can't last. You're absolutely right. This model can't stay like this.
We're about to launch Muslim experts, inshallah.
Yeah. And that's a better opportunity right there.
The price is not going to be fun. So,
I mean, again, for me personally, I can tell you about certain things, right? But we want you to get the most benefit right? I can tell you about Oman. I've been to Oman, but it's not like the person living in Oman, you know? So it's not unfair if I just start, you know, nah, man, like, look, go, you want to learn about here? You want to learn about that? This one, right? So, and I think this thing, inshallah ta'ala, it'll evolve over time. You know what I mean? Inshallah. Because personally, I believe that there are a lot more services and a lot more opportunity when it comes to Hijra. And I believe that we need to start patronizing one another. Yeah. We need to start taking advantage. You teaching coding, I need to put me and my kids in there if they want to learn. Yeah. Do you see what I mean? And I already know that this is going to cost me much more in a different from a different company or whatever the case. So why am I not supporting the Muslims? And this one last point, man, is totally off the subject. Why do we need to boycott if we just patronize each other? Why am I telling you boycott Pepsi if I just buy from the Muslim soda guy? Yeah. I'm just saying that to me, that's weird. Boycott these Tommy Hilfigers and this. But why don't I just wear the Muslim brands?
Instead of saying maybe boycott, let's say empower. Empower the Muslims. Just shift your...
It wouldn't even be an issue though, right?
Yeah, because you're going to spend anyway.
You're going to spend the money.
You're going to spend less.
Bro, if I don't want to buy from McDonald's, right? I don't eat McDonald's anyway. No. I eat from Ahmed's. Do you get what I'm saying? And that goes across the board to any type of services. Like, we should be creating services for ourselves. Look how big, how much money is being spent. You know, bro, across the Muslim world, how much money is being spent. And we want to put it in the hands of the pockets of everybody except us.
I want to mention something here.
Go ahead, Ralph.
This whole thing that happened with Russia, you know, with what they call it, when they got them cut off from the SWIFT system and this and that, companies left. You know what happened? They built their own everything. Right. Everything.
Right.
They don't know McDonald's. There's an alternative. Right. There's no Starbucks. There's not a weird box in the name. Right. And it gives you the same quality, if not better, for cheaper. You know?
Right.
And that shows you become self-sufficient. So that's another thing that leads me to think that, again, as Muslims, the opportunities that we have are too great.
Right.
But if we are strategic, if we support each other, if we collaborate, then let the coffee that I drink be made by a Muslim, owned by a Muslim. I'm going to drink it anyway.
Okay. I was just, bro, and it's like really common sense that we don't have to boycott anybody that we're not buying the stuff anyway. Like, and it'll go out of business. Look, I'm going to say this, man, and I'm going to finish, bro. Look, you go to Malaysia, the best fried chicken is on the street. I'm talking about taste-wise. They can't compete. KFC and all that, they can't even compete with the street chicken. So why would I go to KFC? That's what I'm saying. And it's so bad. McDonald's has fried chicken. McDonald's has, but their fried chicken, the way they make it, because they're trying to compete in that market, because nobody wants your Big Macs and stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? Bro, go to McDonald's in Malaysia and you'll see a whole different menu. You're like, bro, I'm telling you, man, like, if Muslims just thought along these lines, said, you know what? We got Ahmed's and we got Ahmed's in Canada and America. We do that. We franchise our stuff out and you become addicted to Ahmed's chicken or whatever it is. That's, if we start thinking along those lines, then there's no need to boycott.
That's the game changer.
What's the boycott for? Because we don't buy that anyway. Do you get what I'm saying, bro? So that goes tying it back in. Is that we need to start patronizing one another. And the sooner that we do that, we'll start to see it right away, bro. Like, yo, Abdurrahim has that service. I'm going to call you. Such and such has this. I'm going to call you first. I won't call nobody. I ain't even looking at nobody else. I'm going to see. There needs to be some type of directory or something to say, okay, these are the services we provide. And then it becomes common knowledge after that. Like, if you want to get this, go to him. You want this, go to them.
I built a platform like this. I didn't launch it. Now I'm telling you, it's live now, but I didn't launch it.
We need it.
It's there.
We need it, bro.
And you know, and I was thinking about the whole, like, the Muslim experts thing. Like, how do we tie to that, right? Because the thing is, and even with the consultation, even, like, let's say the books now. Someone may think, oh yeah, you know, even if you were donating for a good cause, donate. Because you're on the channel. Why are you on the channel? Because it matters to you, right? Well, shouldn't you support it?
Right.
If it matters to you.
No.
That's the first thing. Second thing is,
What channel are you talking about?
no, I'm talking, let's say make Hijrah. Let's say any platform.
I want to expound on that, right? If you think, do you think it's higher for a man that's struggling in the States, let's say in his deen, he's struggling. He's the women talking to him, and he's this and whatever his problems are. And he comes to Cairo and he brings his family. His kids start memorizing Quran. They start learning Arabic. He starts learning Arabic. He's changing because of his environment or what have you. And you the one that said, go over there and do that. You the one that pointed him to the khair.
You're taking every single word.
Bro, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. If you believe that, it's a no-brainer to say, here, man, what you got a fund or you got something here, man. How can I support you? It don't have to be that. It could be like, I'm gonna book a consultation just to talk.
Yeah. No, actually, so I wanted to add to that. And actually, tell you, don't give me anything for free. But come take something of value that you need anyway, and as a result, just pay a few dollars.
Bro, if you believe that, then what's stopping you? It's again, whether somebody does it or not. Inshallah, we're embedded, we're invested, and it's everywhere I go. There's someone that says, even in the airport, just before when we came here, they said, "Oh, you do the Make Hijrah thing." People are starting to notice. They're starting to. I don't want the recognition, and my family can bear witness. Like, I don't like doing this. I don't like getting on the camera and do this.
Sorry, you have to.
Who else is going to do it until there's something there that's stronger? That's why I encourage brothers. Like, I don't see conflict of interest. I don't see that stuff.
No, that's right.
Like, everybody make a Hijrah channel that can talk about it. Yeah. Why not? If yours fails, mine fails. His is up. His is up. That one's up.
We all win either way.
We all win.
Yeah. And inshallah, none of it fails because we compliment each other.
But we got to stop looking at it like that. We have to stop looking at it as some kind of competition.
Like a competition with each other.
It's not a competition. And there's so many voices. Look, man, we're going forever. But look at this. This is an important point, man. Like, there are people that like Abdurrahim style. There are people that like Omar style. Yeah. And there are people that like Fulan style, right? It's so many people out here, bro. It's so much there. It's an abundance.
Muslims who didn't reach that.
That's what brothers that some people never even heard of us. Until now, they never heard of us.
Yeah, I'm not.
Right? So why do we feel that we're going to monopolize the Hijrah space or this space? That's weird.
What's interesting about that? I don't know if Abdurrahman told you. The meeting we just had in Cairo some days back, right? We called the community together, walillah alhamd. And people showed up, walillah, beautiful. Brothers are so appreciative of these get-togethers. So while I'm doing this everywhere, by the way. Here, Cairo, Madinah, I want to do it. Just bring the brothers together. Let's just break bread. Let's introduce ourselves, get to know each other. Such a beautiful thing. And this is where we exchange ideas. We brainstorm. You know, we network with each other. Okay? But when something interesting happened, we were talking about one of these meetings we did over 2 years ago, at my house. The first in the neighborhood, we called everybody, come, let's get to know each other. Just introduce yourself. Let's connect, because we're here 2 years, 3 years, we don't know each other. In that meeting, some amazing things happened. We ended up creating a WhatsApp community group that's live and thriving 2 years later. Connections happen amongst ikhwa. That is, wallahi, the results of it. We could not quantify. Just from one meeting in one evening. So let's do it again. In this meeting, the interesting that happened when the brothers mentioned, said, one of the goals that we had from the first meeting, right, or some subsequent meetings that happened after that, was that we wanted to create a website. The brothers like, silence me that we want to create this website, but, I don't know how to create it. I'm willing to support it with my money, with whatever we need. A website for us to give information to people who want to make a hijrah. He said, I just met this lady in Mecca, subhanAllah, she lost, similar story you kind of heard today. She lost her children, they didn't get killed. 2 of her sons left Islam. From same community we're talking about, by the way. Same country. And one of her sons, she's struggling with him now. She came to Mecca with him. She doesn't know what to do, where to go, how to go. She just know, I got to save this one. So he said, look, if we had created this website, we'll have information. We need this. People need this. I'm like, I didn't know that you guys were trying to make a website. I didn't know. So by the way, there's one that exists already. You know, like we don't have to, noble other brothers want to do this. But I'm saying there's one that exists. We don't have to create one anymore.
Right.
We just gotta make this one that exists known.
No.
Share this one, support this one. In fact, it's not only for Egypt or Saudi. They cover in so many of the Muslim countries that we may not even be thinking about, that we will not have reach in. So I'm just, like, people don't even know. They have no idea it exists.
Right.
So it is upon all of us to spread this information about, what's out there that's benefit to the Muslims.
No.
If I just focus on, the Madinah project, whatever that means for me, what's the benefit of that?
No.
That's benefiting who? Me?
No.
But the moment I have a guest who offers something, we put it out there.
Right.
Let the people know about it. And then the rewards, the benefits that we get by you just sharing that link on your status on WhatsApp, dropping it in a YouTube, your description. Someone in Russia, in Brazil, might click on that link, might hear 1 or 2 or 3 words from there, and it changes their entire life.
Yeah.
They might move to Cairo, to Medina, to Sharjah.
No.
You never met them, never heard of them, they don't know you.
No.
And they do these things that you're talking about now.
No.
And then you will only find out about this the day you meet your Lord.
No.
What is more beautiful than that?
No.
So I say, we definitely and this for me first and foremost, I actually need to step up and support what you're doing. No, genuinely. No,
you're already doing it.
No, really. No, I'm holding myself accountable right now.
No.
Let me tell you why.
You're already doing it.
Let me tell you why I say that. This channel helped me in my Hijrah in ways that, bro, I used to binge watch. Wallahi. I used to binge watch and rewatch. It helped me in so many ways. It's changed everything for me and my family, alhamdulillah. But what have we done? I've told people about it, but I can do more. And I need to do more, inshallah.
No, man.
And Abu Saleh also needs to do more. So he will have to do more. Well, inshallah, we will do this meeting. So with the support of the channel, again, I'm telling you, wallahi, anybody who want to make hijrah, who want to know about the Muslim culture, is just thinking about it. What you guys are offering on that front, if I today needed, trust me, if I was in the States like now, this was back before I moved, and I saw that, if it was my last $97, I'm giving it to you. The kind of information I will get is, what is it worth? 100x, in my opinion. At least, So people need to take advantage of that. And then, again, the books are there. But the consultation, be careful. Take, that one, be careful before it changes. Books will be there, inshallah, right?
No,
but, take both.
There are other things we're working on, man. We're working on something called Hijra education, which is more detailed studies about citizenship and what do you call it? Visa options and strategies to sustaining Hijra and things like that. So that's being worked on.
This might be the because now we talk about we talk about this, we encourage people talk about the rulings of permissibility. The practicality people need.
Right.
A to Z.
Right.
You already know everything that goes into that. So if you can provide that,
bro,
let me know how I can support. Right, happy to do anything I can be.
But you already been a great help, bro. You've been a great help. But I just want to mention this last point because I think that we enter the conversation in the middle because some people, they don't even know how to get a passport, or they don't know. We talk about visas, Iqama, and this that. And people are like, what is that?
Yeah. Never even had a passport.
So they never had a passport. They don't know what Iqama mean. What are you talking about? And we just all deep into it. And they still try to figure out what you're talking about, right? So you need the Hijra education. You need just the basic ABCs of everything, step by step. And then you also need orientations. So it's things that we can collaborate to do, and not just us. Brothers can come together. You need stuff. You need conferences. You need things that we call summits, where you call people to Dubai come. You never been here before? And you talking about the bars and come see. Show me the bar. No, that's what we have to do. Yeah. We have to do it and show up. Bro, look, invite me, I'll come. Inshallah, I'll be there.
That's what.
That's what you can do.
You're invited. We're doing this together. We're gonna
let's do it.
We're gonna do exclusive one, the first of its kind. We might do it in Medina. I have a villa that's getting ready right now.
Okay.
I might just bring an exclusive group of people, right? 20 people, maybe 30 max.
No.
And that will be the ground. We're going to lay the foundation.
Bro, listen, they need to see what you're talking about. People will come to Medina. Now, it was a time where you couldn't go.
Yeah.
You have to go through all these things to even get into Saudi Arabia, period.
Just Umrah.
Bro, we'll go, I don't know how many times we've been to Riyadh. We just go, right? Get the thing on arrival. It's a year. You can stay 90 days, whatever the stuff, right? So there's no reason why people can't just go. Go see it, man. Stop listening to what people are saying. That's shaitan telling you it's this, that. Oh, they have a concert and they have, bro, what's that got to do with me? I'm not going.
I never seen the concert out here.
Bro, but
never seen
if it was, what's that got to do with me?
With you. It's happening where you...
It's already in the States, right?
No, it's happening all over.
Bro, it's a concert in your city that you staying in right now. It's a concert every weekend over there. So what you talking about?
You're not escaping most of the time. Like...
Bro, listen, come. Forget all that talking.
Mm-hmm.
Come to Medina. Come. I'll be there, inshallah. The point is that people need to stop listening to what people are saying and come see it for yourself. Oh, you said it's a concert there. Let me see what the situation is out there. You're not going to see guys walking around with their shirts off and women walking around like, you're not going to see it.
Can I tell you what's crazy about Medina?
Bro,
about this. This is going on forever. I just want to mention one thing, right? You know how, you just mentioned shirts off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in Medina, to see a woman without her face covered is gharib. This is like, this is strange.
No.
You know, like normally in certain places, like in the West where people are, or to see a niqabi, it's like, oh, this is niqabi. Go back to your country. No, you come to Medina.
Right.
If your wife, wallahi, I'm telling you this, if your wife is now wearing niqab, you come to Medina, she gonna start wearing niqab. She has to, type of thing. Yani,
they have to see it. Bro, look.
Thing, because you will feel, well, I don't mean, by the way, just clarification, I don't mean next to the masjid. Not at the haram.
Right.
That's Medina.
Right.
That's just the haram.
No.
Medina is a big city, spacious, people live there. When you go out into where the locals live, it's strange. It's changing a little bit. We'll cut that. Changing a little bit, but it's strange to see a woman without a niqab. Like if you're with your wife and she has on niqab, you just better know that everybody's staring at her.
Bro, listen, man, that's something that if you want to do something, that's something that we should do together. Because look, people have to see. And it can be at different places, bro. Like it could be Medina, it could be here, it could be Cairo.
Well, we can do it in 3 places from today because we have access to these places.
No.
If you tell people come to Sharjah today, they come in. If you say Medina, they come in. If you say Cairo, some people are coming. Bila shak wala rayb. These 3 places, I said some people, right? These 3 places, we have locked down.
No.
We don't have to even think about. Walillah alhamd.
No.
Right? We don't need to worry about logistics or anything like that.
Right.
If it's Malaysia, I don't know. That's difficult.
No,
I don't know.
Right.
But for these 3, and they're all within this area. And we can do it.
No.
Very easily, very affordably.
No.
And I think that will be such a game changer. If people are willing to go to Kilimanjaro,
right?
I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. If people are willing to go to Cancun, okay, they're willing to go to all these places. Just give us 3 days of your time.
No.
Come meet people who have been on this journey for a long time.
No.
People who have done it, who can talk to you, meet them, greet them, learn from them, and then let us show you around. See what the real Cairo is. See what the real UAE is. See what the real Saudi Arabia is.
No.
And I think 3 days, 5 days is more than enough time. People, I believe, will show up.
That's a good start.
We're not asking you to commit to anything. We're just saying, come and visit your brothers for the sake of Allah.
No, that's a good start.
And let us host you.
That's a good start.
You know?
We need to do
this.
So.
So,
and I'm going to leave
Huh? You want to leave now?
I'm going to walk away right now.
Because
we're going to keep going, bro.
The first one you didn't talk about. So we talk about the support. We talk about the financial. It's the first one.
No, the first one was the code of Hijrah, bro. We talked
I
about.
didn't mention coding for Hijrah. You mentioned it.
No, you mentioned it in the thing.
About coding for Hijrah.
You sure? Maybe it was a mistake.
I was talking about, how do they support the channel? Where do they find you? Which we will share. It's the first point.
No, the support. I mean, it's ongoing. Like I mentioned, it's stuff in the works, and it's all for the benefit of people who are new beginners on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even this add in what we just talked about.
Okay.
And in like these summits, or at some point, it can be conferences, and we can have delegations that come from different countries, because there's brothers. People don't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's brothers everywhere. I think. Did you go to Istanbul?
I did.
I don't know if you saw the brothers there. I mean, the brothers. I'm telling you, we went to a restaurant. I don't know how many times we missed a flight. Back section here, yeah. We went there, and because we missed a flight, and the brother said, "Well, just come over here." So we went into the restaurant, man, brothers, all foreign brothers there. They and some brother was like, I got it, to pay the whole tab for everybody. So people don't even know that exists, bro.
Yeah.
And then we went another time, we went to say, okay, where y'all want to eat? So we went to the Yemeni restaurant. His brothers, big table of brothers. I'm saying that they don't know that people are here, man.
I haven't met a single person who came out. Not coming out on their own. They don't know nothing. They don't know nobody. They just, randomly, and then they struggle. You come, somebody on the ground, and spend just a day, 2 days, 3 days, except when you leave, your heart will stay behind. And I'm not talking about Madinah, I'm talking about even UAE and Egypt.
No.
I met recently in this meeting young brothers who just moved, let's say, from Sweden, from other places. They're calling they're calling their companies back and say, I'm done, I'm quit, I'm not going back.
SubhanAllah.
One brother who was about to leave, one story that happened, he was about to leave that day. Some other brothers who just started a business say, hey, why you want to go back? Why don't you just come and work with us? Look, we started this business. It's going well, alhamdulillah. Think it might be good enough for you. He's leaving that day. Take it, lift it off. Wallahi. Free go back. So we will do our best. We're going to invite you. Come out.
Yeah. They have to see it.
Listen though, everything costs money. If you're not ready to pay, don't make me no money. I don't need your money.
Right.
But if you're not willing to pay the cost to be here, like this microphone costs money to be here, you're not ready.
Right. Who is going to think that you're going to travel?
Yeah.
And you don't have no money. But come on, man, that excuse is done. That's over. Look, man, you have to. Anybody. This is my address to people that are thinking like this. You have to man up. You have to. This is something. It's weird, but I see people that you would think are very poor people out every day trying to make money, and they're in an economy that's difficult to do that. Right? So if a person in the States, in the UK, man, go get 2 jobs.
3.
Get 3 jobs, bro. And do what you need to do to make it happen.
Yeah.
Like this I can't, what you doing, bro? You lay it down telling me that.
Get up. You're seeking knowledge.
Bro, listen, man, bro, get up.
In New York City.
Go get you a job, bro. There's jobs out here. And especially, here's the one thing, man, we going on forever, bro. But this is important.
Part 2.
Bro, listen, man. There are jobs available. There are jobs available. And they need people that they really need Muslims a lot of times. The people they can trust in the job. Person that's not on drugs. He's not going to be in jail. He's not going to... Stable people. They need stable people to work these jobs. Right. That's what I'm saying. And he's not trying to get with every woman he sees. He's there to work. Right? They need them people. Those are valuable people, right? Think of your ideal employee. Wouldn't it be that? Or you want the guy he's drunk, he's on drugs.
Finds out that's how you are as a Muslim. Guess what it does? Makes him one more Muslim.
Right.
One brother I heard when they brought this whole policy thing about like how the word like female, male sometimes right?
Yeah. The sexual harassment stuff, right?
These things happen. Brother, somebody's trying to shake his hand. Like, no, I can't shake hands. At his job, alhamdulillah. I can shake hands with women or not. So people will be scared to do that. Gonna make trouble after. I don't want them to fire me. He refused it. And they said, well, you know, why? He said, no, I'm not allowed. My religion doesn't allow me to, you know, shake hands with women. I can't touch women who are not, you know,
Right.
my
Relative.
relatives, my mahram. I
Right.
can't.
No.
Wow. You're the perfect kind of thing. We know that we will never get no harassment case from you, alhamdulillah. You know, by just you being a Muslim, it makes you more attractive.
But I'm telling you, there's no excuse. There's no excuse, man. Get rid of your expenses. Get rid of these useless expenses. Start saving money, because this is not free. It's just that's just the reality. Making Hijrah itself is not free. Moving yourself and your family is not free. And stop looking for stuff for free. If it's worth something that has any value, pay for it.
Yeah.
And man, I don't care what anybody says after that, really. Like, oh, it should be free because it's Islamic. Bro, nobody's going to pay your way.
Hajj is not free.
Hajj is not free. Some people got free Hajjas, like they used to sponsor, but you still going to spend some money somewhere.
Yeah, but
and somebody paid for it. Somebody paid for the airline tickets. Yeah. So look, man, again, this conversation, I know a lot of people would say, what are you talking about? Like, this is a useless conversation, because we already know this. So the people that really want to take advantage of something like this, they understand it already. So of course you're going to have to pay.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, it's all right. I know your style, bro. I know your style.
Alhamdulillah, we make our intention for the sake of Allah. I'll tell you something though. Something funny. I know we go. My mother, I hear her say this when it comes to money. Because sometimes, like, you know, money, like, not like that, like I don't want the money, but like, you know, don't make the money about everything about money. So, well, guess what? You cannot even worship Allah completely, fully if you don't have money. So, ooh, what does that mean? Okay, what does that mean? Say, well, if you don't have money, you cannot make Hajj. It's one of the pillars of Islam. If you don't have money, you cannot give zakat.
You can't pay zakat, no.
Say, oh, guess what you have to receive?
No.
What do you want to be? A giver or a receiver? You pick.
No.
Right? It's not saying money is not money is not everything. But as Muslim men, we must work. We must create businesses. We have to, because even to worship our Lord in the best way possible, we need to make money. And we're not saying that don't give us any of your money, like even coding for Hijrah. Go to freecodecamp.org. Learn there.
Right.
You know, don't come to Coding for Hijrah. That's free. But if you need guidance, mentorship, you need some, people have to give up their time. And we have to pay for it, by the way. So how is it fair that I have to go pay $15,000 to get this knowledge, this information, and put in all this work, and I just give it to you for free? How is that fair?
No.
It's like you have an iPhone, brand new iPhone, you pay for $1,500, but can I have it? I need to use it to seek knowledge. You know, put my books in there and everything. Let me have it for free. It's not going to happen, right? So, Jazakallah khairan.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be a lot of editing in this. Enjoy this 3-hour video.
I think that was 4 hours.
So, but Jazakallah khair for being patient.
MashaAllah.
So we'll take a good break. We'll pray. We'll have some good food. And on to the next one, inshallah. Who's ready? Subhanakallah wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Jazakallah khairan.